Okay, he's going.
Miss One-Eyed Cat is here. Welcome to the stream. I think Bruce might be here.
Good evening, everyone.
And Buddy Carafano.
Buddy Carafano was on 1 minute after I put the thumbnail up. That's why I said here already.
Yeah, we were watching Tony and making dinner. We are in the shop live. It is Sunday night.
It is Sunday night.
A lot of people probably going over to see what Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage is doing. So I would like to see as well, but
we're here in our shop. We're here in our shop working.
So you know,
it's a little cool in here. We've had the wood stove on for quite a while, and Kim cooked dinner on it, and it was really good. And we videoed that, so that we'll make a video out of that.
Hey, Jack.
Jack's here. Jack's here.
He says hi, hello, grease monkeys.
Yeah, we're grease monkeys, all right. I've been clean. Well, Kim was cooking. I was putting tools away, and they were pretty greasy, too. So
I get them dirty.
So I was clearing tables off, and I still got tables that aren't cleared off, but I cleared a couple of them off. So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Not at all. Tonight, we're working on the 66 Dart. We're gonna have the dual cameras set up so you could see when I have something that I can do that you can see. Sometimes it's tough because I'm going up and down and up and down, and that's the nature of the beast. And since we only have two people, if I grab him as camera person, then you've got nobody to communicate with.
Nobody on the live chat.
Crash Road Runner Garage is here. Welcome to the stream. So, for points, I don't know who is here first yet, but Jack made the first comment at the start of the stream. Miss One-Eyed Cat
was pretty close too.
Miss One-Eyed Cat was 1 minute too early, according to my numbers.
Don't penalize people for being 1 minute too early.
I didn't. So I'll give Jack 3, Crash's Road Runner Garage 2. I'll give Miss One-Eyed Cat 2 because you were so close. And any of the other people who were here early, if they make a comment now, so I know that they're still here or have come back for the beginning of the stream, then I'll award them some points too. If you are new and you don't know how the points work, is people who are live and chat, I award them points when they do something good that I like, that makes me smile, that I want to recognize, that contributes to the community as a whole. I award points. And it's kind of like, whose line is it anyways? The points don't mean anything, but they do. We can get prizes. I don't know. It's an on your honor system. Okay, so if I award you points, you got to keep track. I'm not keeping track. You got to keep track. All of us here says, hey, everyone. I'll give you a point because you're here early. Buddy, you were first. You're getting 3 points. You were here way early, and you're still here. Lester LeSabre is here. I'm giving you a point, too, because you came straight from Tony's to us. You could have gone to see Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage, who is streaming. It's very interesting. They have lots of great content, but we are here.
Yeah.
And we appreciate
it. We were eating dinner and watching Tony's.
We cooked dinner on the wood stove here tonight.
And I clicked out of Tony's just as he started shutting down and turned this on. So
he's freezing. I got an idea.
Well, I was feeling okay till I ate, and I think what happened was all the blood went to my stomach or something. But I got a heater right here. I'm warming up again. My hands are cold.
There you go.
What is that? That's a moving blanket that's probably filthy. We probably put engines on it. I don't want that on me.
You don't want that. You'll be warm.
Okay, put it on me.
You get warm.
Don't knock my stuff off. Okay.
I'm knocking all your stuff off. I don't want the old man to freeze to death. I know it's going to be cold.
That is cold.
It'll get warm.
It's a cold blanket.
Here, I'll turn this all the way up. We'll get you warm.
No, don't turn it all the way up because then it quits. It pisses it off.
Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay. Run.
I don't know if I want to do this, but I'll do it for a minute.
We got to get them warmed up.
Man, did I get cold.
I tried. I started the fire this morning at like 11:30, something like that. Maybe. No, not that early. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon that I started the fire.
I don't know. I went to lunch with my youngest son. He took me out to sushi. I had a great lunch.
Oh yeah,
And then got back. I stopped
dinner
at
sushi,
stopped at grocery
Christmas
store.
sushi.
Stopped at the grocery store on the way back. Picked up a couple of things. Got here and Kim already had the fire going. So it's like, okay, good. It'll be warm in there, but it's a tough one getting this place warm. It's still cold. It's supposed to start warming up in the next couple of days. Christmas is supposed to be like 50 here, which is
He's supposed to be wearing his thermals, but he
you know what?
didn't.
You know what? This is
You don't want to light that.
that's very much hot.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
now
that's too much.
Now
It's
wrap
like
the warm part over yourself.
one extreme or the other here.
I know.
Okay, whatever. I'll just try to deal with it. I'll warm up.
The wood stove is on the far side of the and he makes it sound like it's horrible in here. It's 55.
It's 55 degrees.
It's workable.
Which was fine till I started eating.
He's got his hands in us, but we have more. All of blood went to our belly. So we are in the shop because it is the weekend, and that's what we do is we get some work done, and hopefully you will keep us company. In the past, we have had chat participants, actually prevent us from making stupid mistakes. They call it out. They're like, "No, you got to do this."
Well, I can't, or I'm old, so I start forgetting people's names and stuff. And I go, the guy that did this, and
oh yeah,
somebody will give the name, and I should give him points.
I will award points for people who correct his wavering memory of names. Reminds me of a Sammy Hagar song. Oh, I'm not sure what song you mean, Gearhead. Wrap them up in shrink wrap? I don't know.
That might be. I don't know.
Good evening, Danny Boyd. Welcome to the stream.
Gearhead's here.
I'll bet you there's people who are watching both Jamie and us at the same time.
Well, Danny Boyd, I know he was over at Tony's because I saw him in there.
Yeah.
So he switched right over to here. I swear that thermometer's going down. It was 55. It looks like it's 54 now. Is that fire still going?
Brenda, welcome to the stream.
You want me to go check the fire, or you want?
I will check it, but I just have it. I just took it. It's getting warm. It's cold in here.
Okay.
You said 55. 55. Third floor radiator bleeder open and left in boiler feeding. Uh-oh.
I'm
that doesn't sound good.
I'm lost somewhere.
Did it bubble out?
Where are you? I don't even see the shrink wrap. It reminds me of Sammy. Dumbass stuff. What did you see? I don't even know what you're reading.
I don't. So, guys,
I'm lost.
We are going to try and engage with the chat while we get some work done. That's a Sammy Hagar song.
My dumbass left a third floor radiator bleeder open. Left the boiler feeding. Oh, so what happens?
Is it a steam boiler or a hot water system?
It leaks all over.
Yeah, pretty much. Or it gets really hot. If he left the valve open, no bleeder open, boy, it probably sprayed steam or water everywhere. That sounds awful.
I can't drive 55.
Yeah, that's the Sammy Hagar song. We are working on this dart. The goal for the dart is to get it running by the end of the year, before the end of the year. And we are on track to do that. We've been busting butt to get everything put together. So I am going to get back to it. In our last episode, we took a drive shaft. The drive shaft was too short, so we took a different drive shaft that was longer, but it was too long. So we cut it down and welded it back together. And it is now resting in the car. It's perfect. It's great. We just need to tighten the bolts on the yoke down there, and we are ready to go. The next thing I'm going to need to do is hook up the shift linkage, because in the short video that we did about the shift linkage, it worked, but it's in reverse.
It was like, instead of park, reverse, neutral, drive, like that, it was low or first, second, drive, neutral, reverse, park. So it was backwards.
It was upside down.
So she's made up.
So I've put the lever instead of on this side, on this side, and that will make it go this way instead of this way. So we'll still be able to use the column part of the shift, and I did put a tack of weld on it so you can't go into the reverse 1 range. You're only in the 2-3 range for the column. And that should work out. There's no selector, but the detents are in the transmission, so you just gotta listen or shift by feel.
And then Brenda says, did my 390 engine break in today? Flawless victory. Well, excellent. That's really good.
Woohoo! Engine braking is a good thing. Danny Boyd says it made a hell of a puddle and dripped down to the second floor. Hot water. It's warm upstairs now, though. Well, I hope you didn't damage any of your flooring or plaster work. But if you catch it right away and get some fans on it, you can usually dry things up without anything getting too damaged. Ugh. Yeah, you just get it dried up so it can't mold. Isn't reverse good for drag racing? No, that's a valve body.
That's what Brenda was saying.
Yeah, not a linkage. It's about reverse manual valve body is different than just the linkage is backwards. Not the same thing.
My Cougar's like that. My Cougar had a Chevy with a Turbo 400, and it went, I don't even think it had a park. It went reverse, neutral, and then first, second, third. So you just grab it, pull toward you like that. It just tear tires up in every gear. But
Danny Boyd said, nah, it didn't leak too long. Okay, he caught it in time, and he'll be able to dry things up without too much damage. That's good.
Well, in this time of year, having a little moisture in the house might actually be nice as long as it isn't too much.
Yeah, and sometimes the water in those systems is a little foul.
It might be a little foul, yeah.
So
maybe you look dumb, though.
Well, anybody can make a mistake, It's where you go from there. I'm wearing my layers, so I'm ready to go. Although I can feel the floor. The floor is very cold. That'll get you. Are you resting your feet on this concrete floor?
Yeah, I am. I moved that thing over because it was in the way. I'll put it back.
Okay, because
I got to do some.
I can feel the cold.
I can't do anything with all this.
I can feel the cold coming up from the concrete.
Well,
once you get warm, we'll be okay.
When I'm coming up here, I usually put on a pair of sweatpants and then put my jeans on top of the sweatpants. But it's a hassle because they pull up and wad up, and I got to tape them down. It's just a big hassle. So I went to lunch just with my jeans on, and I came back. I didn't want the hassle of putting the long pants on under these pants, so I just didn't do it. And so I'm a little bit on the cold side, but I'll warm up.
So I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. I think everyone who's here knows that. But I have my own channel. You can check out some of the projects that I've worked on over the past couple of years while I've been here at the Del Campo compound, garage
you
shop
now have a compound
place. I don't know what we are, but it's Del Campo. So, but this is Buff Del Campo, and we are in the Del Campo shop, where we have one car. It is I will show you, and then it is a Dodge Dart. We'll be looking at that today quite a bit actually. And
you really jiggled that all around. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay. That's the Studebaker.
Yeah, say hi to the Studebaker.
Studebaker says hello.
There we go. Studebaker says hello.
Whoop whoop, Studebaker. So
IRS Dart. We haven't done the IRS yet. I'd probably skip some chat there. Water Wrangler fleece line are okay. Man, I was saying what I need are some big socks that come all the way up to my, as high as socks could ever go. And then when you pull on your jeans, it's pulling the stuff up instead of wadding it up. But I don't know if they even make anything like that.
KJ Kylie is here, says hi Kim and hi Buff. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, the IRS Dart thing has gone by the wayside because we had to get it ready in time. You have to consider
that'll just be a project a little later on, because the IRS is done. It just means we have to back off the car, and right now we need. It's a lot of work. We need to drive the car.
Well, we were having some pretty severe problems with the engine. It was running, but it was leaking all the oil, and it had a lot of blow by, and we did find that all the top rings were kind of busted. And you can see that information on my channel where I take the engine apart and inspect things.
I can't believe that thing ran that well with all those broken
It
compression
did.
rings.
It ran great. I mean, not like the best, but it was
But the
pretty
rings came out
torquey. And,
in sections. I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
just fell apart and pulled the pistons
And
out.
they were worn thin from going up and down and in and out at the same time. So, because they were so worn that they were wide open, but when they got up to the bore, they had to go smaller and then bigger and smaller. So they had worn
It'd be the other way around.
in the lands. It was they were pretty worn out. So we got a remanufactured short block for a really decent deal because they didn't know what they had because there was a problem with the cylinder head, and we took our cylinder head and ported it out, put the engine back together. We've been working since the No Name Nationals. I pulled it out the week after No Name Nationals. I pulled this engine out, and I have been hammering away at it every opportunity that I get. I had a surgery that put me down for about 3 weeks. And then we went to Texas, so that delayed things. But anyways,
well,
now
then we got sick.
then we had the flu.
Did we get sick? Yeah.
And, the cold weather's setting in. I'm sick of this. This car is going together. Now, a lot of things have gotten done. Some things I record, other things we stream. So we're going to enjoy it tonight. Landon Custom Classics is here. Welcome to the stream, says howdy. I'm going to get the other cameras set up, and I'm going to actually, I don't even think I'm going to get the other camera set up right now because the next thing I need to do is hook up this linkage because I can't put the exhaust in.
We don't get to watch you bend over the fender. While you're over that direction.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get up. I'm trying to warm up. Can you get the I'm looking for pieces and parts. Somewhere around here there's a gasket for this and I don't know what happened to it.
It's under the hood.
Okay. Can you get me the gasket and also get me the gasket cinch? Gasket cinch.
Oh, gasket cinch. Yeah, I will grab you up some gasket cinch and we will.
And I will explain my way of dealing with thermostats and gasket cinch.
Yeah, tell them about the short.
I am cold. Man, I'm cold. I guess eating. The warm food felt good, but then, yeah. You know what I did? I had a couple of these guys sitting here. They've just been sitting in the building. It's 20 degrees or something in here. So they felt nice and cold, like you'd like to drink. And I opened it up and I took a big swig. Instantly, that cold just went down inside me, and instantly I was cold. And I'm still trying to warm up from that. So, yeah. Shiloh Spitz. Cubby Cups. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit on the cool side tonight. But it should warm up. Yeah, how's the fire looking over there, Kim?
I'm rolling some stuff around because it wasn't burning hot enough. It's burning. There's plenty of wood in there, but it's just not burning very hot.
It's not burning hot.
It must be the type of wood is not the hottest.
Well, you got to get air. Remember I said, you poke some holes in the ashes underneath so air goes underneath it. Buddy Carfano says it's cold here, 4 degrees in Massachusetts. And I'm glad it's not 4 degrees here.
It ain't 4 degrees. Wow. That's
eating. Food is to be eaten on your time. On my time.
Who's mad about the food?
Danny Boyd says eating. Food is to be eaten on your time. I don't know. What do we do? Eat on somebody else's time? I don't know.
We should have been, what he's saying is we should have been eating on our own time, not in preparation for the stream.
Not in preparation for the stream.
They don't like to eat it.
You'll see, we cooked food in the shop and videoed her recipe, and then we ate it. And
start a new cooking stream.
We ate about half hour before we came online. We were eating while we were watching UPG. Mr. Hand. Yeah, Kim's over there. Kim's over there stirring the fire up. spell the eating? Oh, Eating. Eating. I don't get it. Something. Kim will probably come over here and get it through my thick skull. What's KJ Kylie says, isn't it our time? Yeah. Yeah, somebody got upset with us for, I think Kim ate a piece of string cheese or something. Gave us a hard time about eating during a live. But we did like a 4.5 hour live, so what? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't do
When I
that.
get paid, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. I work through lunch.
Gearhead says 30 degrees, light freezing rain up here in North Dakota.
I mean, we could have it worse. There's no
Did
question.
you hear that?
Where at?
30 degrees, light freezing rain up here in North Dakota. Well, I'm glad we're down here in Tennessee. That's why I moved south, and 3 years later, that's why Kim moved south to get away from. Oh, we weren't that far north. I lived in South Dakota when I was a kid, but never been to North Dakota. But it's similar. I think North Dakota's normally colder. Dean Stevenson's here. Good evening. Danny Boyd, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Danny Boyd, it takes armies to stop me from eating. Okay. Dean Stevenson, Susie Screen Cheese. Susie Screen Cheese. Oh, instead of string cheese. Kim's over there. Oh, you can see what she's doing, obviously. She's in this. She's over there setting up camera so she can watch her work on her. Are you putting the camera in the engine compartment?
We're trying to get a good view. They want to see the stuff, don't they?
I think so.
Let's get them up close and personal.
I'm more concerned with the fire. Rocker arms, try push rods for chopsticks. Oh, man. We had a sushi restaurant. I went there with my son today, my youngest son. And what's the first thing I want? A fork. I'm not going to fling food across the room because I'm too stupid to use chopsticks. So I like the sushi. It's a great sushi restaurant. I had sushi that was a piece about this long, and it was eel with avocado.
Eel?
And some kind of crumbs on top of it. It was wonderful. One of the best sushi I ever had.
This isn't gonna work at all. What if I do this?
Susie cream cheese from 101 Motels by Frank Zappa. Oh man, I remember Frank Zappa well. Kim's over there struggling with her.
I'm struggling.
Struggling with she's wrestling a tripod. Just get it so generally they can see your work.
There's no general. It's either they can see or they can't. It's like down in here. It's miserable.
Oh, you may not be able to do that. Maybe you're right. Just maybe you won't be able to show that.
Well,
When her aggrieved, you sushi, and then you retracted it.
took away our comments.
I don't think he wrote the same thing again. When her aggrieved, you sushi, and the struggle bus en route.
Struggle bus. That's it. We are on the struggle bus.
On the struggle bus. Kim, I think this blanket's holding the cold in.
Blank.
I gotta take this off. It's just not working. It's not doing the job. Oh, the top of that thing is hot.
Look it over.
I'm gonna turn this way. Just put the heater like right between my legs, and it'll heat up the inside of my pants. That'll feel good.
All right, what did I do with the?
Eel and avocado. No wonder all your blood went to your stomach. Oh man, that eel. Last time I was there, this is a great sushi place in Clarksville. And last time a whole bunch of us went, and Kim was there too. And
Yeah.
we had. I decided to have eel because I like to try things that are different. And I never had eel, so I had eel, and it was a big sushi roll, like a foot long, and then they cut it all in pieces. It was wonderful. And this time I got the same thing with avocado on top of it, some crumbly stuff. Man, that was good.
Not figure out what I just did. I'm losing my mind.
You lost something.
Man, am I losing?
Got wires everywhere, and you're losing your mind.
Good shot.
Okay, and then Dan E. Boy is telling about his bleeder open again. I don't know if that blanket helped or not. Man, it is not warming up quickly in here. Why not? Papa Roach.
I remember what I need to do.
You're gonna be able to work that, ain't you? Are we ready to? Are we ready to do the Elgato?
No,
Oh,
I need a little hole in here so I could put a pin
you gotta
through
go
that,
drill
cotter
that.
pin through that. That's not really anything that they haven't seen before. So
Old drunken dumbass Dan, they probably call me. What are you, drunk? Man, I can't believe it. I had a drink. I had one mixed drink when we went to Texas. Kim was driving. I thought, I haven't had a mixed drink in like a year or more. And I had Diet Coke with some spiced rum, but it must have been a really weak drink because I didn't even feel it, but it tasted good.
I think they poured for you to drink a second one.
They poured it, so I drank the second one. But then we ate, and you drove back to the hotel. I don't drink much, and it was really good. Dean Stevenson says a Clevis pin.
Yes.
Yeah, Clevis pin.
Yeah, you get a point for saying Clevis pin. That's the right thing.
Danny Boyd says I was this afternoon. Come August, you will want the shop to be 55. It's not cold. It's free air conditioning. Yeah, why can't we save this for summer and then save the summer for the winter?
It's expensive though.
Well, and I'm kind of a warm-blooded character anyway. I worked in Arizona for whatever it was, 13 years or something.
Oh,
and he
likes the warm.
It's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, probably 9 months out of the year at least. And in the summertime, between 115 and 122, 124, something like that. I remember one time I had an airplane out there. I was out at the airplane, got headsets on, and it's a drone. It's a big ass drone, 1,500-pound drone out there running, and I'm getting worried about the coolant temperature and the oil temperature. And they're calling out from inside the ground station the coolant temperature. It's getting too hot, and we're getting little snags in the checklist, and the checklist is going on too long. So I said on my headset to the mission commander in the ground station, I said, "What's the ambient air temperature?" And he says, 124. I walked over there and I opened up the door and I said, "What did you say?" And he goes, "It's 124 degrees." And I said, "We need to get rolling." Because once you get that airplane rolling, some air starts to go through the radiator, and the coolant temperature come right down, but it was not coming down. It was going up. But that was kind of a normal summer afternoon in Yuma, Arizona. 124 degrees on the flight line. And you know, there's a lot of people that worked out there and just fine with it. But there were people that came out there from back east and they'd last a couple of days. And all they wanted to do was go back home. Okay, I'm going to kind of calm down here a minute because there's ads. It says ads inserted. So I'm going to just, I don't know. I'll just wait for a minute or so and come back in.
I don't know what's wrong with this. I don't know if this piece of metal is tempered or if it's just
It's hard as nails.
freaking, yeah, hard as nails.
I don't know. Maybe the commercials they're clicked out on by now. I'm not sure. Danny Boyd says too many poisonous critters in the warm climate. Yeah, there's a lot of scorpions and rattlesnakes and stuff, but the rattlesnakes pretty much leave you alone. If there's once in a while they get in a building, and there was one test officer out there. The test officer is the ones that run the test facility, and then all of us flew the airplanes and everything. So there was one test officer out there who was real good with getting rattlesnakes and taking them somewhere. And I remember all those years I was out there, probably 2 or 3 rattlesnakes that we asked him to get out of the building. And a couple of times people got stung by scorpions, but mostly not. You just know where. Don't put your hands underneath things, and because they hide underneath stuff. One guy, we had a bunch of plywood, aircraft plywood, up against a wall, and a guy reached over there and grabbed a piece behind the plywood, and there was a scorpion back there stung him, and he ended up going to the hospital. He didn't feel good. There was another guy had a scorpion get up in his pants, and he said they took him to the base fire department, and they had an ambulance running in from town, and he refused transportation to the ambulance. He said he was actually feeling a whole lot better. He says he had some numbness in his legs for a couple of minutes, but he was feeling good. He came back to work. So, I mean, those are the only two scorpion incidents I remember in, I don't know, I think 13 years I was out there. Yeah, you can bury a lot of underground pipes and all. Doesn't tend to make sense in this kind of terrain. I'm not sure what that is. Max Sweat Dastardly. Dastardly's here. Good evening. Dean Stevenson, I had a whiskey drink. I had a vodka drink. I had a lager drink. I had a cider drink. Is that a song? I should have had a Sunday together. Oh, that kind of Sunday together.
Remember to read names.
I forget if there's. This is Olive says. I forget if there's an ice cream thing though. Did get some decent. KJ Kai says rattlesnakes taste like chicken. I don't know. You know, my son has eaten snakes before during their my oldest son during some of their what do they call it?
Maneuvers.
Yeah, they're training. They're training where they don't get the only thing they get to eat is what they catch. And he says the meat is kind of sticky. I don't know. I guess they were cooking some snakes. Levi's backyard performance. Good evening, Dylan. Olive, ouch! We just have little scorpions here. If they ever sting, it just hurts a lot for what it is. Yeah, we have those big scorpions, but they always said the little ones are the ones that will hurt you worse.
We got red wasps here, and they're nasty.
No, the red wasps.
If they sting you in your face, you'd be really unpleasant. But if they sting you on the body, it's just like, But they can sting you multiple times, and they bite, and that stings as well. So, but it's not gonna kill you if 2 wasps sting you. And usually, it's when you get stung, you're like, what's that? It's a burn. Then you're like, I got stung. It's just not nice.
Danny Boyd says they have poisonous chickens on the equator.
Poisonous chickens?
What?
That sounds like a bunch of who?
Kim says that sounds like a bunch of hooey. Dean Stevenson, 111.2 degrees Fahrenheit in Perth yesterday. Don't forget that point too. But down to only 97 degrees at night. That sounds like Yuma. Yuma would get sometimes under 100 at night. A lot of times I go downtown Yuma. They had like a big outdoor mall, all these stores and restaurants and everything around, and it would be 107, 108, 109 degrees in the evening, and with the sun down, that's really comfortable. And it's dry, like 10% humidity. But there's people that don't like it, but I sure like it. Olive says, Chamberwamba, I get knocked down.
I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. I'll award you a point for music.
Dean Stevenson says the aqua turkeys are reputed dangerous too. Lester LeSabre says everything supposedly tastes like chicken. That's what everybody says about the when we have alligator tail here sometimes. Everybody says, "Oh, it tastes like chicken," but Kim and I don't think it tastes like chicken.
Well, you know that alligators and chickens are relatives of the closest living relatives to dinosaurs. So actually, chickens taste like dinosaurs.
Chickens taste like dinosaurs.
Tastes like dinosaurs.
Maxwood, Dick Ashley, 13 degrees here. Olive can confirm have had rattlesnake, very like chicken. Was it sticky? My son, they were going to that, what do they call it, training? Anyway, he says it's kind of sticky, but it tastes like chicken. I don't know. Levi's Backyard Performance. If snakes were meant to be eaten, they would have a ton of meat on them.
All right.
KJ Kyla, barbecue iguana in Tijuana. I don't know about that. Should be right. Your head's right. Where did I leave that? Oh, except McNuggets. I missed that. Feral turkeys are rampant.
All right, it was a pain in the butt, but
Shiloh Spitz, cool.
As you can see.
Oh, did you drill it?
There's a hole through there. You see the hole?
Oh.
That's not green screen. That's all.
You got it.
You can see it when I do this. There's a little hole. Now that linkage. Okay, see if Elgato will come up. See if the cat.
Dick Dastardly says my dog likes Kim. He went up to the TV a foot away when she talked.
He knows it's bedtime. There you go.
Okay, we got split cam. So now we're looking at something down. It's kind of part of it's focused. Whoa, yeah. I don't know. Can you see that? What's focused and what isn't?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what you're doing.
I'm trying to fix it up here.
Okay.
I'm gonna work on
gator tastes like pork
right there
with a fush taste. You know what I think alligator tastes like is it's kind of like the consistency, maybe like chicken, but kind of seafoodish. I don't know what it's like. It's like alligator. And then the way I cook it, in the South, most people cook it. They bread it and fry it, and I don't. I kind of saute it with some oil with some seasoning and some onion and some other things, and I don't like it breaded. Cotter pin assortment in the assortment drawer. Go down in that big toolbox, about, I don't know, a couple drawers, and you'll see a drawer that's full of little boxes of assortments. You see it?
No, I looked. I can't find it. That's all right. We're just going to stick.
I can walk over there and get it.
I'm just going to stick a, pin through there.
Oh, geez.
For the moment. Can you see what I'm doing?
Sort of, yeah, but that's not the right tool. I mean, that's not the right thing.
I don't care. I just want it to not fall out of there while I'm aligning it up in the bottom. So now it can't come out of there. I'll put a washer and a pin in there proper in a minute. That's ready to go. Now
it says something like that. Yeah, gator is not as much like chicken as snake. And I've never eaten snake, so I really don't know. Danny Boyd says culinary. Danny Boyd says snakes are cat toys as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, cats are faster than snakes, and snakes are fast.
I'm crawling on the ground.
I caught lines.
Can't wait for that part.
And you get great shoes afterwards. And you get great shoes afterwards. KJ Kylie, white-tailed deer meat from PA. Man, we have
Oh yeah,
those
I love me
white-tailed
some venison.
we have those white-tailed deer all over the property here. Once in a while, I hear something right outside the house. I look out there. I'll go outside, and there'll be 3 or 4 deer right by our bedroom windows. Swordfish is good. I don't know if I've ever had swordfish. Maybe. Although I don't remember the rattler as particular sticky. Maybe that's how it cooked. We didn't have much. Someone brought some for a bunch of us to try. Gearhead, ear sausage, so good. Man, there's something they used to do out in California where I lived, and I never went. I should have. They used to have a wild game barbecue, and all the hunters used to go out there and put that wild game barbecue on. It was a benefit for something, and I just never went. But I should have gone.
They usually do that for like.
I should have gone to that thing.
They used to do that back home for the gun club.
Yeah, okay.
They'd have a twice a year. They'd have a thing where they would do that so that they could make a little money, support things, support the club. That was good stuff. Good times.
A bar here had this. Max with Dick Dashley says a bar here had a game feed every year. I couldn't try turtle soup. They stink like sewage. Really?
Oh, that doesn't
How would I know that? Brenda says a line of feline named cars is needed to race the snake themed cars. Okay. They like my cougar. I miss my cougar. Mercury was the sign of the cat. It sure was. They used to have a big cat on top of the Mercury dealers. Dick Dashley, walleye is the best fish I ever had. Walleye was a big deal up there along the north coast, like in Pennsylvania, like at up there near where you used to live, but up on the coast, Erie, Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Cougar, yep. Yeah, I had a cougar for a while.
That makes.
I can't show the pictures here, but maybe I've showed them on Tuesday nights. I've showed pictures of my cougar. It had a small block Chevy in it. A lot of people are disgusted with it, but it's kind of a cool car.
I mean,
big cross ram manifold.
It's yours. Don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, it was a cool looking car, and it was fast. It was very fast. It was like an eighth mile, not even an eighth mile car. It was like a 1 block street race car. Had 556 gears in the rear end. You know, that's
insane.
Yeah, it didn't matter what gear is in, tires just burn. You know. Oh yeah, Buddy Carpano says Bobcat. Yeah, they did. I had a Bobcat. I had a little Bobcat wagon that I put the panels on, like to make it into a little van, like the Pinto vans. Man, I wish I still had that car. I had an employee wreck that thing, just destroyed it. Yeah, and a Lynx, Mercury Lynx.
Oh, I own the Mercury Lynx.
Danny Boyd, asparagus is awesome. Cheetah. Oh, a cheetah. Yeah, but a cheetah wasn't a Mercury. A cheetah was who made the cheetah? I can't think of his name. Somebody will know. But it was all Chevrolet running gear, I think. Dick Dashley says we lived on white-tailed deer when I was a kid.
Going together.
Oh yeah, I got to talk about what Kim's doing. I can see your hands. You're down underneath the car putting something together. Yeah, I went fishing up Lake Erie for walleye and salmon. Had a blast. Uh-oh. Start coughing again. Yeah, Jaguar. Jaguar's another cat named car. Oh, says I happen to have. I'm pretty sure a Bobcat center cap, though the center emerald is in poor condition around here somewhere. Danny Boyd says Gearhead never had it grilled, but I think my folks grew it a few times. Brenda says Kim needs 3 hands right now. Oh, I always need 3 or 4 hands when I'm working on
There ain't
cars.
enough room for more than one hand. I gotta use them, all the fingers independent of each other.
Yeah,
I
she's
need
like,
fingers on my fingers.
fingers on your fingers. VW Fox. I had turtle soup at a restaurant.
This is a great place for a little gear wrench. Wow, this is perfect.
Let's see, Lester LeSabre. I had turtle soup at a restaurant in Dayton, Ohio. I was hesitant, but it was good. Danny Boyd, Olive, Rob one off a skid steer. Rob one off of a skid steer. What was that? Some kind of a. I'm lost. I think that was some kind of a logo. Dick Dashley says, Dad ran 557 gears in Bucks.crud for a long time, 8th mile. Man, you're going to be still going to be cranking that engine up by the end of an 8th mile. Danny Boyd, Lester, what restaurant? I'm from Dayton. Tropics? Oh, hey, Dan, the Mercury Bobcat kind. Oh, that kind of Bobcat. That kind of Bobcat logo. Not like a skid steer logo. Not like a skid steer Bobcat. Man, there's 2 different vehicles called a Bobcat. I never even thought about that. Danny Boyd, shout out to the Gem City. Oh, a common brand of skid steers. But yeah, that's very common.
Yeah, I would say they're one of the leaders in the
That's
market.
kind of what we were looking for, and Kim found this one. What is this thing? Because I have my brain.
It's a case.
Case.
Case. Good machine.
Lester.
A lot of longevity.
Lester Saber. Sorry, Dan. I don't know the name. I was visiting, and a co-worker took me there and recommended it. CJ Kyle, Kim is making my carpal tunnel hurt.
Did you guys see it's coming together?
Yeah, they're watching. They're commenting on it. Danny Boyd, Dayton was a cool place. You know, I never really hung out in Dayton much. I know I was there. I stayed near the airport in Dayton. When I was in the Air Force, I helped a friend tow a bug-eyed Sprite from Ohio over there, and we stayed in Dayton with his uncle. And then we went out to a place called Cowan Lake, which was kind of a recreational area. And then we hustled back to Illinois because we were both in the military, had to go back to school. So, Brenda Cardinal Pace, 1816B. Oh, you remember? That's exactly what Kim has.
Yeah, she is a
Gearhead 6971 Olive. We have a Bobcat, an old Melrose turn to Menlo plant here in Bismarck. G. Gwinner in SD, South Dakota. Dick Dashley says he ran 557's quarter a couple of times. Junkyard short blocks didn't last very long. Yeah, I guess not. Man, mine, I had just like probably the best engine I ever built, and you know, with those gears and it was a you know, it was a really hard hitting 400 turbo hydro. Yeah, that thing was crazy fast car. Fastest car I ever owned. I didn't have it long because there was a guy wanted it. He traded me 2 cars and money for it, so it went away. Danny Boyd, Vandalia. Yeah, that's where we were. We were in Vandalia, Ohio. James M. Cox, Dayton International Airport. You know, that's actually where we stayed, was in Vandalia. Hollis stopped in lunch in Dayton in the journey down here. That was all we had time for about it. Danny Boyd says, Olive on I-75. Buddy Carfano, Dayton makes me think of Fire spoke rims. Oh, that kind of dating. And we're all watching Kim again, I think. I'm not watching Kim as closely as I'm watching the chat. Oh, presumably, Dan. We came from the bridge off the Upper Peninsula down to Lower Michigan. Danny Boy, Dayton borders Kettering, the guy who invented the electric starter.
Whoa.
Dick Dastardly. Yeah, just imagine without that, we'd still have cranks sticking out the front of our cars. Dick Dastardly, I still have the 1/4-inch wide rims trying to sell from Iran in the 557s. Man. Yeah, 557s. I wonder what rear end that is. Yeah, because the Ford rear end the Ford rear ends were 556s. I don't know. I guess just the way maybe that's just the way they called it. I don't know. My Cougar only had an 8-inch rear end under it, and then my friend who had the other car with the 556s was a Gremlin with a 429 Ford and a C6 tunnel ram, and he had a 9-inch Ford under it. But we raced those things. All we did just tear up tires and make a lot of noise, turn gasoline into heat and smoke, keep everybody laughing, having a good time. The good thing I got rid of that. We probably both end up in jail if we kept driving those things. Never had it on a drag strip. He had the Gremlin on a drag strip a couple of times. It turned in the low 12s. Danny Boyd, I've been up to Lansing once to the Olds plant, to Detroit. Lester LeSabre, Carillon Park, and Wright Brothers shop in Dayton.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dick Dastardly, 8.3. Okay, so it's an 8.75 Chrysler. So that's 557s. Danny Boyd, Caroline Bell Tower. And we're watching Kim down there still connecting something. I see you're putting a hose clamp.
Yeah, the hose clamp is going to hold the bushing that keeps this from having too much slop. So there's a little bit of slop.
So that's going to be your thrust surface?
Yeah.
So that's temporary, I guess?
I mean, temporary is...
Oh, the hose clamp's holding a piece of rubber.
Yeah.
So the hose clamp's not the thrust surface, the rubber is.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, it's garbage, but, you know, will it work?
Well, a hose clamp holding rubber is kind of normal. But, yeah.
I mean, it could be better, but...
Carillon is how we always pronounced it. Carillon, okay, that looks about right.
All right. Yeah.
So we're going to have frontwards linkage when you're done.
Mm-hmm. Now we're getting into the grease monkey work because this is all dirty. I should clean this so much.
Oh, you know, it's come up, it's like 58 degrees now, so it is coming up.
You know why? That stove is hot as it's ever been. Trying to give you some.
The stove's as hot as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Are you still blowing air on it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that helps. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, dang it. This is a terrible angle for this.
I'm looking forward to the next couple of days. By Christmas Eve and Christmas, it's supposed to be warmed up here, like into the 50s.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was hoping if we get some more of this heavy duty under the car stuff done, we'll be able to finish it up.
Have a drive video.
Maybe, yeah.
Where are you going to drive it for your test drive? Texas. No, don't do that.
We'll drive it down to see Uncle Tony.
Drive down to see Uncle Tony?
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Tony.
That'll get some views.
If we can do it.
I was just looking at pictures for a thumbnail earlier.
Yeah.
I found pictures, just scrolling back through old pictures, and I found a picture of this in front of Uncle Tony's shop when it was washed outside. Remember that in the driveway next the paved driveway next to his shop? It was sitting on that driveway where we pressure washed it before you drove it up here.
Oh, that was a sketchy drive.
Yeah, that was a sketchy drive, but
Those tires were so dry rotted.
Dr. Go, good evening. Many years ago, I think I remember someone saying the Lansing plant has 2 lines running. And I'm thinking he said they could roll a car out every 96 seconds. Could that be true?
Right.
KJ Kylie, Kim Ned's probably needs a nut driver. Yeah. You know what I use on clamps? I use a speed handle, a 1/4-inch speed handle with a socket on it. Do you want one of those, Kim?
No.
Lester LeSabre, I'm a transplant to Ohio. Not native like you, Dan. My wife is from Cincinnati. Man, when I lived in Ohio, I was at the other corner. I spent very little time in the Southwest. I was mostly in Northeast Ohio, right up on the lake. Yeah, cold, miserable place. Oh, look at that. She's moving it. Danny Floyd, man, we were supposed to tour the Olds plant, but it was closed because the line was down. This was in '78 when my dad bought a new Olds as a drive-away. Dealer bust a bunch of buyers up there. Oh, that's cool. So you got a car right from the factory. You know, you can do that with a Corvette. If you buy a Corvette, you can go to the Corvette Museum, which is right down the road from the factory, and you can take delivery in the museum, and they have a person come out there, and they walk the buyer through the pre-delivery inspection, and the buyer does the pre-delivery inspection and does the setup on the car and everything with an observer or helper, which I think is pretty cool. And that's actually an option that's listed on the Windows sticker, is the museum delivery. But I've been there and watched people doing their own PDI. Oh God! Oh, and you save the freight charges. I didn't think of that. Grease Belly Garage. I use a 6-in-1 ratcheting screwdriver for HVAC. It's perfect. KJ Kylie, a Knippix nut driver. Knut driver. Knippix Knut driver.
All right, we're gonna have to have you do.
You're gonna have to have me go up there and do the shifting. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna walk.
Well, give me a second to get this camera. Take it off this camera so people don't get lost.
So you don't want them getting dizzy or seasick or anything. Okay, we're back to this. Oh, wait a minute here. Yes, we all went out to this huge lot. Our cars were all there. And we all drove back down I-75 home. That must have been really cool. That would be a car with really low miles. Lester LeSabre. I'm in Miami Township, east of Milford. Milford? I'm trying to think where that even is. Gearhead says, night all, got to get up early. Okay, hey, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night. Dr. Go. I was only at Vet Museum once, and they announced people's names and took delivery. That was cool. Before the cave-in. Yeah, I've been there once since the cave-in, and they've got the cave-in. Maybe I was there twice since the cave-in. I was there once since the cave-in is all lit up down there, and it's drawn on the floor where the cave is, and you can stand there and look down this thing, and you can look into the cave, into the lit up part of the cave, and they have some of the restored cars there. I mean, they made a big deal out of the cave-in and made it part of the display. It's pretty cool.
All right.
And if none of you ever been to the Corvette Museum, and you ever get near Bowling Green, Kentucky. Make sure you go to the museum. It's just set aside like a half a day at least. And if you like museums, set a whole day by and go through that thing. It is worth it.
Okay, go ahead and put it all on the cat cam. Full cat.
Oh, cat,
Full cat.
full cat. There we go.
All right,
Full cat.
guys.
Okay, so now I'm gonna leave the chat. So I'm not gonna be reading chat for a minute.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go get in the car. Get away from the heater. I was getting warmed up. But before I get in the car, I'm gonna look at the. Oh, this thing's warm, yeah.
I told you.
Oh my God, I've never seen it this warm.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
Oh my God.
It's hot. Oh, those should be down.
Yeah. Cool it down. That's a hot mother.
That's
Oh man, it's warm over there.
that's a hot what's it called? Hot what do they call it? I don't know. Hot.
Oh, that felt good over by that thing.
Yeah, stand over there for a couple minutes. Well, I'll turn the camera over there and I'll read chat to you. How's that sound?
Oh, I don't know.
All right, start by putting it all the way up.
It's up. Feels a little spongy, but it's up.
Okay. Shift it through the gears.
Hard. First. Neutral. 5, 2, 1. Yeah, they feel kind of close together, but they're going back up. There's 1, 2, drive, neutral, reverse, park. Park feels a little spongy.
Spongy. Push at it a little bit. Push up.
It's up as high as it goes.
Okay, push down till it comes out.
Not very far. I mean, it works. It's just they're all kind of, like all the gears are like within about half the normal.
Oh, okay. Look, I'll bring the camera over.
Ratio's kind of close.
Trying to bring the camera over so they can see. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on.
Yeah, so they can see. I'm not quite there yet. I know, but I can. I've got a little screen, tiny little screen. No, I messed up. Yeah. Oh, you know. All right, I can see. Show them how it works.
Park. 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 Reverse. Neutral. Drive. 2, 1. Feels good. 2, 5. Reverse. Park feels like it isn't going all the way in. So,
Yep. It's okay.
I mean, you could drive it like this.
Oh, yeah.
But it's real easy to bump it and have it go in the wrong gear.
Well, don't be doing that. It would have been easy anyways.
So, okay, so I can get out of this?
Yeah, come on. Go back. Good, go stand over by the fire
I'm
for a
gonna
couple
stand
minutes.
by. Oh man, it's so warm over here.
I know. I'm gonna read you the chat.
I'm actually gonna sit right by the fire. Or maybe I'll stand by the fire.
Either way is fine.
Oh, since you closed this down, it came down about 50 degrees. So, okay, I'm not worried about it being out of control.
All right, I'm gonna read you the chat. Guys, I'm coming to read the chat.
So now I'm on camera?
Yeah, we're both gonna be on camera.
I'm in front of a really warm thing.
All
I
right.
mean, this is so warm I can't stand that close to it.
Yeah, good.
You're gonna see my back for a second. Oh yeah, that feels good.
Dr. Ghost says I passed by heading home from No Name Nationals. Did you hear that one already?
No.
Okay. That's what he said. Oh, there was a hurricane coming, so they weren't stopping. They had to go. KJ Kiley says go to the Walter P. Chrysler Museum first, though. Danny Boyd said a lot of badass cars out your way, though, Lester. Yeah. Lester LeSabre says I had a dark blue T-Bird. Really like that color. Dr. Go says Danny Boyd, I agree about the museum, and I have it on my bucket list to go back. Max Wedge says, I drove my 65 Cornet 3-speed standard with no shifter for a while. Had to reach down through the floor. Yeah, I mean, I've seen
things like that.
I saw a documentary about a guy who did demo derby. And because you worry about the car getting twisted or banged up or damaged, he had a hole and a little, like, handle that he could just, it was on a rod right down to the transmission so he could shift down there. So, first gear, it's all right. Second gear, hold on tight.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was KJ Kiley is quoting the Beach Boys.
Oh, I figured that would be coming from New Zealand. Okay.
No. Everybody's throwing out music. It's festive. My truck is Danny Boyd says international blue, similar to the Ford engine dark blue.
I like the Ford engine dark blue.
Yeah.
Should have never gone away from that.
Can you guys hear Buffalo Campo okay over there? I should put him on a wireless microphone.
No. I can yell louder. I should just shut up.
They could probably hear you. Go ahead, say something.
I did say something.
I think they can hear you. You're in the yellow. Or New Holland blue. I don't know all these colors very well.
I like the original. I call it the original, but it's the Ford blue, like from the late 60s, 67, 68, 69, that dark blue Ford engine color. That is a great color.
Danny Boyd asks, can y'all move that 3 on the tree shifter to the other gate so that it shifts to nothing and acts as a theft deterrent? No, because I didn't want someone to take it out and get it lost because there's no rods to hold it and return it. They just kind of flop down. What I wanted, so what I did is I put it to the gate that it's at, and I pulled the welder over here, and I just burned a nice little tack on there. If somebody ever wants to free it up, they can grind the tack off, and it will still operate the way it was supposed to for a manual. But for now, it's just in one mode, and the detents inside the transmission dictate it. There's just no indicator, so it's pretty good. Twin stick it. Not tonight. We want to get it back on the road. That's the biggest thing with a project when it gets so overwhelming that it gets abandoned. And we do not want to do that. And we have other things we really want to do. You guys want to see other projects get worked on.
Y'all remember, this came back from No Name Nationals with the oil leak. And we just come pull the engine out, fix the oil leak, and put it back. Well,
an oil pan repair turned into a new motor, an automatic swap, a cross-member weld repair, torsion bar out, brake
front end rebuild.
Part of the front end rebuilt, the brakes. I mean, it was a lot.
Drive shaft.
It was a lot. Max Wedge says he can hear you.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'm gonna walk outside for a minute. I'm gonna take a walk for a minute.
Okay, we got split screen action, but we don't. Now it's just me. I drove by the Corvette Museum many times, going from Mississippi to Cincinnati and back. Unfortunately, I never had time to stop. Lester LeSabre, trying, sometimes you want to take the road less traveled or slow it down a little bit. I haven't been to the Corvette Museum. I was never like a big Corvette fan. So Corvette was always way out of my pay grade, Just excessive. The insurance would have killed. When I was young and I was like, oh, I really want a Corvette, the insurance would have killed me. when you're, in your teens, early 20s, if you try and buy a Corvette, they just clobber you, So I couldn't do it just on insurance, let alone finding something that was in my price range, right? And so I had to find something practical. And so, and then I started a family, and there was a lot of people, and Corvette's no good for that, So it just was never a practical car for me to even consider. And even when I was doing racing, Corvettes were out of my class. And so I see them now, and I think, man, a Corvette be nice. It's a Chevy. It's high performance, but I don't have the affinity for them because I never even considered ever having one. The early vets they are really, really sweet. Tommy Buff's outside. He'll be right back. He's watering the landscape. Maybe. I'm not sure. He's gonna actually he's back. We're gonna put him. Whoop. What did I do?
Now I can stand by the heat.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna put him by the heater for a little bit. He is absorbing some radiation. We've got the little wood reactor over there.
Kim, what the hell? I went outside. Of course, my eyes aren't used to the dark.
Yeah.
And I walked straight into some piece of steel right between my legs. Whack.
You didn't take a light. I'm so sorry.
No, it's like, what the heck is that?
It's a piece of steel. Are you okay?
Yeah, it's just like surprise. And then, by the time I get back, my eyes are used to the darkness, and there's this big steel thing sticking out.
Tommy Hanlon came in. He wanted to know where you were.
Oh, I had to take a walk.
Somebody asked. He said his Buff stoned because his eyes were so red. He had conjunctivitis during a couple of the videos that we recorded. So his eyes were beet red. They asked if you went out to smoke a joint. He's hogging the fire. No, there's plenty of fire to go around, but it is much warmer on that side of the shop than this side.
Wow.
Tommy, we just finished hooking up the shift linkage, so we've got auto on the column now, and it is sort of a hokey looking linkage, but it's solid. It's not going to fly apart, so we're going to go with it for now. I probably will replace the clothespin, not clothespin. There's a paper clip because I couldn't find a good. We'll find it.
I can't get across this shop.
No, it's pretty tight. What are you looking for?
I can get something. I can't get anywhere.
Yeah, it's tight.
I'm just trying to get to where I'm going.
Oh, Ford Grabber Blue. I don't know what Ford Grabber Blue looks like.
I know what Ford Grabber Blue is.
Buff knows what it looks like. Whew. Wow, this heat is getting me. I'm dressed for it. He is not. I'm feeling this heater. I don't want to shut it off because I want your seat to stay warm. But
Kim, did you want one of these for this linkage, or is this the wrong kind of Kim?
No, that would be what I would want. That's way better than a paper clip.
That's what I think. Okay, I can sit there.
Want one of those. Do you want to stay by the fire a little longer? They don't mind.
It's hard to get over there without falling on my ass.
I'll move.
So much crap in the way.
I'll
make it. I can make it.
I'll move the camera for you. That is a nice big stove. It's fantastic. If this building were a little more tight, like those doors are very drafty still, because there's some rotten wood at the bottom, and the wind ripped them down once, so we had to put them back together.
Well, and the lack of insulation on this wall.
I had to take all the insulation out so I could fix the doors, and it never kind of went back in because it's hard work. So, yeah, if we can get that stuff taken care of, it'll be a lot better. I did get that linkage all adjusted while you were tending the wood stove. It's doing really good. I feel okay about it. The lever ratios are a little bit too tight, so it doesn't go very far. Like, it has a lot more throw that we could be using, maybe 25% more. So it feels real close. It'll be okay. You don't shift. Automatic transmission, you're either in park or in neutral or in drive. You don't shift around, you know. You just put it in drive and go. So it'll be okay. And there's no visual thing, but my van doesn't have one either. I'm kind of used to that. You just count the bumps, and you feel it when it goes into gear. So, Grabber blue is kind of the same hue as a fluorescent green. Okay. When you roll out the car you are working on, what are you thinking of rolling in next? Oh, that's a good question.
I know what we're rolling in next.
Yeah. Buffalo Campo's got to answer that question. I know too.
We're rolling a Ford in here.
Bring it in forward.
Mercury Zephyr.
The Z7 Fox Body 78 Ford is coming in because he wants to be able to drive that car.
I would have driven that today to go out to eat with my son, except it doesn't have a heater in it. You know?
We got to get the heater and the brake. I do not want him driving those brakes. I did not like.
Yeah, but a brake job is simple.
Yeah. The master cylinder needs.
As soon as I say that.
No, it'll be okay. It won't be bad. Buddy Carafano says spray foam insulation did wonders for my garage. See, I don't know if spray foam would be so great on the doors. I worry that it wouldn't stay adhered, opening and closing the doors.
Yeah, we got these big foam panels.
We do have foam, but they need trimmed to fit because I changed the doors a little bit to make them. They were sagging. I had to put new hinges on them and stuff like that. And Cope Racing Transmission says Wrigley Field is located at 1060 West Addison. I award you a point for giving us a factoid. And you noticed that my shirt says Wrigley Field. And the reason I'm wearing the Wrigley Field shirt is because it is the thickest sweatshirt that I own. And this is a no excuses stream. We can't get too cold and stop working.
Mr. Cope, good evening.
If Buff says hello. Max Wedge says, I had a 56 Ford step side with a big block Mopar. I hooked a 3 on the tree shifter to a 727. It was backwards through park is at the bottom, but it hooked right on.
My 56 Ford was like that. Park is at the bottom, and, it was backwards. It's just because I was too lazy to fix it right.
It was that way 2 days ago, and then I ripped it apart and changed the Z-bar. And now it is correct. It would have worked that way, but we couldn't work on something because of something. I don't remember. We were waiting on some parts, so I fixed this one. Danny Boy says, nah, that's Elwood Blues' house. Dr. Go says, Wrigley is home of disco demolition, for those who remember. I do not. I was never near there. I don't know where this shirt came from. I just know it's like the warmest sweatshirt I got. And it's layered on top of another sweatshirt and another shirt after that so that I can work until the working is done. I've got those foam panels. They do help somewhat, maybe a bit more against heat than cold drafts. Oh no, they'll work really good against the cold, but you have to have like weather stripping around these giant doors. They have no weather stripping and there's no seal at the bottom. So when that big stove gets hot and starts pulling, it pulls air under the doors, and that takes a long time for the heat of the stove to overcome the cold of the whole rest of the building. The whole rest of the building has insulation. It's just those doors. So it's out front. But it's warm out front because that's where the stove is. We're back in the back. It's kind of like being in the deep freezer for about... If we kept that stove going for a couple of days and the heat came up into the slab and the walls and everything, we'd be good. But we let it get cold overnight. Then it takes a long time to get back at it. You want the stove? This is too hot. You want to take
Yeah,
back?
I'd like to sit there again.
All right.
Because I like.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget the cheese whiz.
Oh, I got warm in front of that stove, man. And I opened it up to look at it. There's a big log just about came out. I had to hold the log in. Kim, are you paying attention to me? I knew that.
Sorry.
The big log in there just about came out of that stove when I opened it. So I held it in there and pushed it back up in there, and that is a roaring fire in there.
Okay, good. Good job.
But it shouldn't fall out now.
Good. It never should have. I am sorry that I overloaded it.
Danny Boyd says, I was really disappointed when I found out the most authentic Philly cheesesteak comes with Cheese Whiz. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Cheese Whiz. Oh, you shut the other camera off already. I thought I was on camera over there.
You were. I just shut it off as I walked away.
Oh, it says seals your biggest need. Yeah, they get these doors are like they're like this. They're big old barn doors that just skid on the ground. You know, it's just somebody built this thing. The guy painted cars in here, the guy that owned this, but this building wasn't even a year old, and he never really finished it.
You know, 80% of the time it's good enough, but it's just when it's like really cold like this.
Yeah.
And when we're only working every other day or every third day, it gets cold in between. But tomorrow is supposed to be warmer, so
yeah, it's supposed to warm up between now and Christmas.
We're just doing our best to get through today, and then
okay, let's see here. Dick Ashley, my brother put a 455 and a Regal with logging chain motor mounts. And you kick down, the spark shot out from under the bed from the alternator hitting the hood. Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Yee!
Orange whip.
John Cope, I got an automatic in instead of the 3 on the tree.
Yeah, she got a 904 right now. But he may have been here for that.
I don't know.
Okay, Dr. Go. I don't know. Can you read that? I don't know why I'm struggling.
Read which thing.
Dr. Go, right after Cope.
Okay, they were going to blow up disco records between games of a double header as a DJ stunt. So many people rushed the field, they tore it up, had to cancel the second game. Oh, they were going to blow up They were going to blow up disco records. They didn't like disco records, and they were going to blow them up. I see. Steve Dahl and Gary Meyer. KG Kylie said, Big Log, Led Zeppelin song. I see. Danny Boyd, I definitely love an orange whip. Orange whip.
What happened to this camera's crooked again?
You
messing with the camera?
No, I don't know.
No, I'm going to have trouble getting it to where I want it.
Technical difficulties.
No, I tried to fix it. And you know what happened when I tried to fix it? It got worse.
Lots of space in this mall. The Grabber Orange 70 Mach 1 with Chrome Magnum 500s. Ooh, that sounds like a sweet car. My phone is going crazy. Voice texts keep messing up. Oh, I don't know. That's the aliens messing up your phone voice messages. Danny Boyd says, I was surprised. What a piece of garbage Elwood fiance's 5 or 6-year-old Grand Prix was. Oh, okay. Steve Dahl did, says Cope Racing Transmission. Danny Boyd said no off-street parking for that car. Lester Saber says, was the disco record blow up a Bill Beck idea? It sounds like him. There you go. All right, I'm going to put this exhaust on.
So dry, it itches. Jeez.
There's probably something in your pocket.
I don't know.
You going to be all right? Have to be done?
I don't have any of my lotion or anything here, do I? So, like most lotions have so much alcohol in them, they make the skin moist for a minute and then even drier. But there's that medicated one I have. That when I put that on, it actually does stay. It actually helps the dryness.
What about some WD-40?
No, I'm not putting WD-40 on my hands.
3-in-1 oil. Lucas, that's extra,
98.
extra slippery.
Oh, God, what is that? Oh, when I'm scratching, it starts to bleed. Oh, that's bad.
I got some etching primer.
Cope says disco pants and haircut.
Space pants.
Dick Dastardly says, I had an 80s Olds Cutlass with a factory 350 Chevy engine, 4-speed. Only one I ever seen. Danny Boyd, I've read about the disco thing, but don't remember if I was aware of it when it happened. Cope Racing Transmission says, baby clothes? Baby clothes? Oh, it says, nice choice, Matt. Crash Roadrunner Garage. Good night. Oh, you're taking off. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, have a good evening.
People are being all cryptic. I don't know what's going on today.
KJ Kiley says platform shoes. Tommy Hanlon, you should put stones on top of the stove, and when they heat up, put them in your hoodie pockets. Oh my God, they'd be so hot. Be red hot stones. I've thought about putting stones up there like in a little cage, and then they'd stay warm for a long time. But like tonight, we used that flat surface up there to cook. So, oh, we had a good meal just before we went live. I was watching Tony's, Uncle Tony's live. We were sitting here watching his live and eating what Kim made. It was pretty good. Cope Racing Transmissions. We were quoting scenes from the Blues Brothers. Oh, when they went through the mall. Oh, okay.
What size is this?
What size is what? I don't know what you're doing.
I'm trying to put the drive shaft on.
I thought the drive shaft was on.
Well.
Danny Boy says, like warming a brick and putting it at the foot of your bed to keep your feet warm.
Yeah, they used to do that.
Man, I know a woman they didn't have any heat in their house yet. It was this in California out in the mountains. And it was getting really cold, and they owned a bar. And before they left the bar, she had big gallon wine bottles, and she'd fill them with water and heat them up and then take them home. It'd take her about 15, 20 minutes to get home. And she put those hot water bottles in bed before she'd get in bed to warm her bed up.
Why is the one wrench I need down here?
Yeah, she was an interesting woman. She was quite a bit older than me, and but this was it's probably 35 years ago. But she remembered when she was from England, and when she was a little girl, she remembered hiding in the basement when the German buzz bombs would come over, and she goes, "You just hope you didn't hear them quit, because when they quit, they come crashing down on you." And she, as a little girl, she remembered those buzz bombs. So, man, she lived through that crap. I thought you had the camera. You got a light, but no camera. No camera on Kim for some reason.
Nothing's crawling on my back. I'm not worried
about Tommy Ham. I'll get it out yet. Hanlon. I use a hot water bottle in this weather. Old school. Yep.
Well,
Dr. Go, 3 Dog Night represents that a night was so cold that it should need 3 dogs to stay warm. Oh, yeah, Kim, it's up to 60 in here now.
Good.
Yeah, having that fire cranked up like that really made a difference.
Yeah, you can't do that all the time.
No, that was up pretty high, but it
was pretty hot.
Yeah, it warmed it up in here, several degrees.
Well, it's cold under here, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that thermometer's probably, I don't know, 60% of the way up the wall, so it's probably warmer up there than it is down here. Dick Dashley, I traded the Cutlass for a big old beater Pontiac. The motor blew up in the Pontiac the next morning on the way to work. Oh, man. One of my dumber trades. Okay, we got ads coming in. I'll just kind of hang on here. Won't try to talk through the ads.
You know what you need to do?
What do I need to do?
You need to formulate a short for tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, I got to have shorts for tomorrow. You're right. I don't have any shorts in the sitting on my phone. Oh, man. Something else to do.
Yeah.
What should I do a short on? I've done like every tool I have. But I always find another one. Tim, what are you doing? Just you're putting the bolts in or tightening them up, or what happened to the drive shaft that you're redoing it?
I didn't tighten the bolts.
Oh, that's all. You're just tightening bolts.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny Boyd says, Dick Dastardly, I rode in a 78 to 80 Grand Prix with a V6 3-speed manual on the floor. This was in like 1981-ish. A 3-speed manual on the floor. A short on your stove. Yeah, I guess we could do a short on the stove. Sure, that's a tool.
Tell them how it's a reactor.
Kim says it's a reactor. I don't know. I've worked around reactors. They were a lot easier, or they're a lot more difficult than the stove. Stove's a lot easier. Dr. Go, dang, Max, I'm sorry to hear about the blown motor. Feel comfort knowing you're not alone with bad luck. I'm sure there are others with similar luck.
Oh,
Not that I would ever know. Yeah, you had similar luck. What was it blew up that you had? Something that didn't have any miles on it.
I had a Skyhawk or Sunbird, something like that. Sunbird, a Pontiac. It's like a 4-cylinder, and the stupid thing didn't last a month. I paid a lot of money for it. Not a lot, but it was a lot for me, and I was really disappointed. It was a sweet-looking car, but the motor was bad. They all went bad. That was a bad motor. Forget what it was.
I don't think I ever had one blow up. Well, I did have one fail right after. You know, I was so busy in one of my radiator shops. I had a guy redo a big block Ford for me, what I used to call a big block. It was an FE engine. And it was in a 59 Ford. So I just had him do it. It was kind of expensive, but I was busy, so I could afford it. And I just didn't have room in the shop at the time. So I got it back and I drove it. I didn't drive that thing but 10 miles. It was knocking, banging so bad. Something was wrong, you know. And what he had done is the bottom of the intake manifold had like a heat shield underneath where the carburetor goes.
Yeah.
And it has a little vent in it. And they had glass beaded that intake manifold, and they left glass beads in that. The thing's riveted in place. Normally, what you do is you drill the rivets out, and you thread it or put helicoils in there, and you bolt that shield back in. They didn't do that. They just left it there, and that thing was full of glass beads, and all those glass beads went through that engine. So that engine had like 8 miles on it. It was ruined already. I was not happy. That's probably the worst thing I ever had happen with an engine. And the guy kind of helped me through it, although he didn't have a lot of money, so he was struggling with it. And what he did was he gave me it was a 390 that was 40 over or something. He gave me a 360 truck engine and put it in it. And I don't know. It's not really what I wanted, but made the car run. He at least tried to help me through the mess he made. Dr. Go, 23,000 on a 3-valve 4.6. What year did the Cutlass have the split grill that was spring mounted? Oh, I remember those things. They swung back. I forgot about those. A.G. Kiley, Sunbird turned into a sun turd.
Yeah, I was a turd.
Grill, Danny Boyd says grills were spring loaded going back to 75 and possibly 74, 73. Tommy Hamlin says, no, Danny Boyd, not all grills were spring loaded through 76 and 77 one. John Wilburn's here. Good evening. Yeah, John, it's starting to warm up in here. It's 61 degrees now. Kim really cranked the heat up there for a short while, and that warmed it up in here. And I'm sitting in front of the heater. She's under the car doing, I don't know what she's doing. Oh, you're fighting with the transmission lines. She's got stuff that's probably all interwoven wrong.
Come on, get on.
You don't want a camera on you?
No.
Postcard, John. Did I get a postcard from John? No, I didn't see one. Did you see one in the mail from us? A postcard or a Christmas card from John?
Did you just get the mail today?
I got the mail today and looked all through it, and there was nothing in there like that.
Didn't come yet, John.
There were only 2 or 3 things I wanted. Most of it was sales circulars that turn into kindling. No, I had 3 items I wanted. None of them were from John. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, John, didn't come yet.
John Wilbert said, yes, I did, Camp Del Buffo. Well, then, I don't know where it is. I'll have to look again. But you sure you didn't pick it up out of the mail?
Yeah.
How do you know I got it, John? Dick Dashley says, I bought a 3.9 Dakota used. It blew up about 3,000 miles left. I put a 318 with a tunnel ram and 2 600 Edelbrock on it. It worked perfect on the stock 318. Buddy Carfano, what would consider worst engine ever? My choice is a 4100 Cadillac. Oh my God, I hated those things. Yeah, I had cooling system shops, and they had coolant leak through the porous block into the oil. And what they did, GM had these big pellets you put into the radiator. It was like bars leak, and that was their fix for that. Maybe it worked. I mean, that wasn't the worst thing about that engine.
What the crutch?
Kim's struggling with something under there.
Exhaust.
I drove a first-gen Dakota with the V6 and 5-speed and loved the sound of that truck with the slider open. That was Danny Boyd. Dr. Go, Max sounds like a cool 318, yeah.
Come on. Son of a...
Kim's under there cussing at her exhaust. I'm sure you can hear her banging around with it. Now I'm worried about my card. Did I miss the card? Or I'm going to have to go through all my mail again. Make sure I didn't miss it.
Don't mess with him, John.
No, there were 3 envelopes I wanted, and all 3 of them for my insurance company. I know what they are. They renewed the insurance. It's insurance cards. Dr. Go, Max. Okay, I read that. Dr. Go, thanks, John. They call me Dr. Go. Cool card. Thanks, John. Now I want to. I bet I got a card from him and I don't know what it is. John says that sounds so non-automotive back there. Whatever you're doing. That's the exhaust pipe banging around. Can't you hear the exhaust pipe ringing? Sounds like a big long tube ringing. We're on our lift, which is a jack with a one wheel under a ramp.
Okay. I got it.
She's saying okay now.
I got it. What? Where's the break? Drop shaft is it. Exhaust manifold. Son of a bitch.
What's wrong? It's in the wrong place up here.
I didn't put the gasket on.
You can put the gasket on. Which gasket?
Exhaust manifold gasket.
The whole thing, though, like from the whole intake exhaust manifold gasket? So it's got to come off again?
I don't know what you're asking me. I don't know why you're giving me grief.
I don't mean to be giving you. I'm just out. Shut up.
I just did the thing. I don't want grief. I gotta find the box with all the gaskets. I need the manifold to.
It's over on the other side of the. It's over on the other side of the building. I saw it over there. I saw a big gasket box over there laid out.
The gaskets?
Dr. Ghost says the swearing part sounds automotive.
The swearing part is automotive.
John Wilburn says sounds like a deleted scene from Eyes Wide Shut going on back there.
Man, I don't even know where to.
You see the box?
There's a box over there, but there's nothing in it. So that's
Oh,
not
there's
the
nothing
right
in the
box.
box.
That's not the right box. You're just trolling, making me go over.
Oh no, I just assumed it was in the box. I didn't know it was an empty box. I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
Exhaust manifold gaskets. I don't remember what I did with the box of gaskets. There's a lot of gaskets in it still.
Could they be in the car? You tend to put things in the car.
They could be in the car. Get them out of the way.
All I'm doing is sitting here in front of a heater. I feel terrible. I don't know, just like not. I'm not.
We're gonna have to be done.
I'm not helping. Well, you want to be done?
Yeah, you're not helping.
You want me to get up and help?
I found the gasket. No, because you'll get sick because it's too cold for you.
I could. Oh, you did find the box of gaskets.
I found it.
I think that's what I saw. Okay.
All right. You'd have told me where it was.
Well, I told you it's on the other side of the building, but I didn't know exactly where. Make a gasket out of the cardboard box. Dr. Ghost says, yeah, we've done stuff like that. Danny Boyd, I whisper about half of my wrenching profanities. Oh, when I start wrenching profanities, I'm not whispering. Well, maybe I should add some excitement. There's some excitement. Let's see if anybody's paying attention.
Your soda's probably a little better.
Oh, it's probably warmer.
Yeah, and here's your gasket cinch.
Oh, good. Okay, do you want to paint this first? Oh, this is cold.
No, I don't want to paint it because it's in bad shape and I'm going to need to replace it. It's
Okay.
going on the car for now.
Dr. Go. Well, he just deleted whatever he said.
Dr. Go.
Dr. Went. Now he's Dr. Went.
Doctor got up and
Dr. Went.
Let's get up and go. Must have got up and went.
Oh, this still cold, Kim. This is still really cold. Okay, I'm gonna set it over there. We'll take it to the house. Wild and crazy guy. Okay, so what we have here is a very cold I'm gonna set this on the heater there, try to warm it up. Dr. Go, I was literally typing to ask you to light up the headlights. Oh, and I did it first. See? You guys like that thing? You guys like that thing? Where is it? I'm trying to make it stay. There. See it go?
Headlights don't light up yet.
Yeah, it's not the headlights. It's turn signals, parking lights. What's really weird is they're kind of a bright orange, and they show up almost white on the screen. Yeah, that's my excitement. Well, this is not warming up. That's not warming up. Oh, what happened to all the gaskets in?
That might be the old can.
Yeah, that's kind
I found the wrong can.
of nasty. Yeah, turn signal lights. Mariposa McNabb says turn signal lights. Yeah, you know what they are. They're actually just some kind of LEDs that Kim bought for something else, and she had bags full of them. So I bought a flasher and made a wiring harness, and she helped put it up, and then we had this silly thing. I was gonna flash that thing anytime we get super chats, but sometimes I just flash it anyway. Danny Boyd says those lights are cool. Dick Dashley says I need a throttle cable for my 63. My Spirit is too short. My Spirit is too short for my 63. Dr. Ghost says, that is cool. I heard you talking about it the other night. I had not seen them. Crazy you did that. So I was typing about them. Dick Dashley's spare cable is too short. Ah, Studebaker, not Packard. My bad. You know, that Studebaker, actually, the plate on it, I mean, I have the whole car. That plate on it says, I think, Studebaker Packard Corporation. Or Packard Studebaker. Forget which it is. The Rain Man Buick was built in a former Studebaker dealership in Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, that's another car we got to get through here at some point is the Studebaker, but we're stacked up with projects, but that's good. We got plenty of content. We're not going to run out of content.
That's true.
Oh, it warmed this up nicely. I put it by the heater. Okay, so what I do is I take the thermostat, which we did a couple shorts on the thermostat because we tested it, made sure it actually opened at 180. And then right there you can see I drilled a hole in it. I don't know, you might be able to see the hole. See, you can see the hole in there. And that is so that it will, there's a burr on that. Where is the nearest drill bit? I can't get it in the drill bits. Too much. Oh, there goes a mouse down the wall. Ah, shit, we got 2 mice in here. Okay, we got to set some traps. They know it's warm in here. Now we got another problem. Rodents.
Hickory dickory dock.
Okay, I got to go walk and get a drill bit. I'll be right back. Those are some brave mice. Right up.
They probably never seen people. They're not afraid. They don't know me. They're trying to figure out if we're aliens or drones. The mice, because they never seen.
Man, those are some brave mice. Okay, so I deburred that hole because I don't want that burr in there. So I take this thermostat housing, put the thermostat in there. And which way does this thing go? It goes this way, right, Kim?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to put the hole like near the top.
They know.
They know that?
They know. Which one of them doesn't know that?
Okay, maybe they all don't know this. I don't know. I run out of money before I run out of projects. Oh, we do. We're out of money. But what we do, oh yeah, this is nasty. This, yeah, this is the bad. This is an old can of this shit. This is unusable.
Okay. I'll get the other.
This is like, that needs some chemical put in there. Make it, like, I don't know what the, what is that, acetone or MEK or something to make that juicy again. The gasket cinch is not juicy anymore. It's just strings. Yeah, we run out of money, but I don't know. We got enough junk around. We just keep making the stuff we don't have. Oh, man.
Did you use some of this high tack?
No, I want gasket cinch. What the heck? What the?
Yeah, I don't know where you put it.
You don't know where I put it?
I don't know where
I'm looking for. I'm looking for something to make it juicy again. I don't know what chemical that is. I don't know what that chemical that is. I don't know what the thinner is for this stuff. Or I just do it. I'm going to reach up there and see if I can get the acetone. I can't reach the acetone. There's so much stuff in the way.
I got so many places for this shit. Screwing about.
Or lacquer thinner. I bet lacquer thinner or.
Are you sure it's gonna?
I'm not sure of anything.
Right.
I'm just reaching for it. I got it. So who knows what the thinner is for gasket cinch? Who even knows what gasket cinch is? It's like a old timers. Old timers. Look at this stuff. It's like old timers gasket sealer. Probably shouldn't pour this near the heater, but that ought to be enough times 10. I probably just ruined it. Always thought drilled hole was if thermostat stuck closed, there was still coolant flow. No. The 1/8-inch hole is so you bleed the air out of the system. That hole would never be enough to keep the car cool, the engine cool. Let's see, what size drill bit size? And Kim, I admit I do not know a way to install the hole. Okay, I use an 1/8-inch hole. Like this, thermostat housing goes like that. See, there's a 1/8-inch hole. I'm trying to hold that in front of the camera. So there's an 1/8-inch hole in the thermostat. And I put that up near the top so the air will bleed out. Although if you put it anywhere, it'd probably bleed out. So I don't know if that was the right solvent. Mariposa McNabb says, used to make gaskets out of manila folders. We make gaskets out of cereal boxes. I never heard of gasket cinch. I'm a year older at Buff. This stuff? Never heard of that? This is great. It's like rubber cement times 2. And you put it on and you let it dry. You put it on both surfaces, let it dry, and then you stick it together. And it doesn't come off. But I do that on one side. Oh, this is nasty. I don't think that was the right thinner for this shit. Sure sounded good when I did it. I think it just didn't work. Yeah, what I don't like is people use this RTV on everything, and they put too much, and then it squeezes together, and all little RTV ribbons all end up through the engine and in the heater core, and stop up. I used to get in the radiator shops. I get stopped up heater cores. The engines or cars don't put out any more heat. You take the heater core out, pull it apart. It just be full of little ribbons of blue silicon gasket material. So people use too much of it, squeeze it down. It makes all these little worms, and then it all goes through the blue worms through the whole system. You know, hate that stuff. Whereas this that I'm trying to make work, put it on here. Oh, this is not nice. Let it dry. You don't get it all over the thermostat, which I just did. And you put some on the gasket. You ever use rubber cement in school? Of course, I don't know what they do in school anymore. They probably don't let kids have rubber cement. But the way same way you're supposed to use rubber cement, or the same way you're supposed to use super weather stripping adhesive, which is the same thing. And you let this dry, and you let this dry. So I'm letting that happen. And as soon as it's dry, you stick it together. The only way to get it off then is probably with a buffing wheel or something like that. But I do that on the piece you remove. So this, when you remove it, the gasket's still on it. And then on the side that goes on the engine, I put a little grease on there to seal that side. So when you take it apart, you don't have some nasty gasket all glued to the engine. It's glued to a piece. You can, like this, you can walk over to a buffing wheel or something and just clean it off, you know. Whereas if it's stuck to the engine, you're leaning over, scraping, cussing, all those kind of things. Okay, then you stick the gasket on there after it's dry. So the gasket's stuck on there. And then the clean side of the gasket, you put grease on there, like some white grease, white lithium grease or something. And that'll seal. That'll seal against water or coolant or anything. Bolt it on the engine. You have to take the thermostat off. It's really easy. It's real good to huff in a paper bag, too. I've been coating gaskets with silicone paste to stick and help seal. Yeah, I hate that shit. Freaking silicone gasket sealer. I mean, there's a time and a place for it, I guess, like on a China wall and an intake manifold, but where you need something real thick. But man, what's that? Ads will run short. Oh, okay. So we're gonna. We got 1 minute countdown for ads. So it's just I have found so much silicone sealer through engines and radiators and heater cores. So much destruction by that stuff. I mean, if you use it, use like a tiny little thin wipe with your finger. If you got thickness you can see and you tighten a bolt down, that stuff is going to make little worms all through everything. Just cleaned up so much of that stuff. Yeah, Scholastic worms. Dean Stevenson knows. I've in a newer car, you pull a heater core out of it to take the heater core apart and get all that crap out of there and put the heater core back together and put it in. That's like a 10-hour job somebody's paying for because, okay, ads are started.
All right. Drive shifts.
We're on an ad break.
Drive shifts.
Okay. Lester LeSabre says no, silicon dielectric paste, not formic acid. Yeah, okay, that's okay. The silicon formic gasket, there are places, like I said, like the China wall on an intake manifold on a Chevy. Of course, yeah, I mean, that's what you're supposed to use. But you put it on there thick, you set the manifold down, and you let it sit there and start to cure, and then you bolt the manifold down. But if you have two flat surfaces that are tight together and you put a ribbon of that around there and tighten it down, it just makes a huge mess. Gets into everything. Gets into like the oil pickup down in the oil pan. It's like everywhere I've ever gone to an engine, I find that stuff. And somebody caused those problems. So there is a time and a place. You can take silicone and wipe it really thin where it won't squeeze out. It'll probably be okay. Yeah, Bars Stopley clogged a lot of heater cores. Yeah, I used to laugh. I say the heater core is actually the filter in the system. It's the hardest thing to get out of the system, and it's the thing that's got the smallest passages in it that acts like a filter. Dad had pieces of silicone in his cooling system, and the electric water pump kept locking up. I had to fix it between runs. He won super stock nostalgia that day. We almost gave up and went home, and it was pieces of silicone. That's amazing. Yeah, and the worst stuff is the blue stuff. I'd pull a top tank off a radiator, and the whole row of tubes, after you take the top of the radiator off, all you see is tubes. And there'd be like blue silicon worms sticking out of every tube. And the car's overheating, of course, because every tube is plugged with that stuff. Okay, Kim, you see how this is? Oh no, you're busy. I'm sorry. I'll show you.
I know how it works.
I'll show you when
Thank you.
we were on a break. Yeah, that's what I thought. I waited. Maybe I didn't wait long enough.
You want to see if you could find a couple of bolts for it?
Where would they be?
The cardboard box underneath on the table with all the transmission stuff. It's a cardboard box straight back from where you're at. All the way back under where the hammers hang. Nope, other side.
See it.
Yeah, these short ones, and
What a mess.
it's everything.
You actually. Oh, here's a good one. I want everybody to look at that. That is a bad thermostat.
It's a bad thing. Actually, it's a mechanically damaged thermostat. It may be the
Well,
same thing.
it's bad. It's probably not bad from natural causes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that thermostat. So,
That's a bad gasket. Why are we saving a bad gasket?
I don't know.
I just chucked it. Oh, Kim, this is a mess. This is like
It's all the nuts and bolts from two motors.
all the nuts and bolts and two motors.
Find what you need.
Well, I'm not sure what I need. I'm trying to figure it out. We have
That's the spirit.
two bolts here that are similar in size.
Kind of energy we need.
Let's see what screws into here. Nope. That does not screw into there. That falls into there. Look what she hands me.
This is why I need help.
These are like Greasy, grimy bolts from old engines. Show that thermostat with the hole in another close-up, please. Okay, I will. I will show that after I wipe this bolt off. This bolt is so greasy. If I touch this bolt anymore, I will be greasy. Oh, Kim, this is really greasy.
Oh, stop your whining.
Really greasy.
I'll find another old man to help me with my car.
No. You find some greaseball guy.
Yeah. One that won't bitch about it. He'll be happy to spend time. Somebody really loves me. Is that the right size?
I don't know. I haven't. I'm trying to determine that. Okay.
I'll size up.
We're gonna show this again. Okay, that thing goes like that. There's an 1/8 inch hole. So when you start the car up with a fresh fill, the air will slowly come out of this and into the radiator, and then pretty soon it'll be coolant up to that hole, and then you have coolant against the thermostat. Otherwise, what happens is you have air up there, and the thermostat doesn't open because the air isn't that warm, and pretty soon the whole thing boils up to the radiator, and big mess, you know.
This is 100% the correct thread.
That is the correct thread, which is same as what that one is.
Probably
okay.
Longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, okay, so that's why I guessed what that one was. So I'm thinking that's what that one is.
That might be correct.
Oh, okay,
but it probably needs cleaned with a wheel.
Probably needs cleaned. Yep. That I believe. Both these need to be cleaned. Okay, let me check these bolts. I think they're right. They appear to be right. Okay, everybody, I'm going to walk away from it and go do a cleaning on. There would be washers on these too, wouldn't there?
I would not be opposed to washers. It seems like
just gotta find them. This is a mess. See, Kim and I disassemble things differently. I have Ziploc bags with like everything marked, and there might only be 1 or 2 bolts in every bag, and I know right where everything is. And she does this from 2 engines, and she does okay with that.
I know what I'm looking for.
She knows what she's looking for, but that's not the way I work, and so I struggle with this a bit. But I use a lot of plastic bags. That's too small. Oh, I think I found a washer. I did. I think I found another washer. I did. Okay, I'm going to go clean this stuff up. Record cleaning bolts, good short. Oh yeah, it's me standing at a buffing wheel cleaning bolts. I don't think they had washers from the factory, but I could be wrong. Well, it's just they got a... I can't imagine putting a bolt head right against a piece of aluminum. I don't know, maybe. Maybe they came with captured flat washer.
I don't think so. But maybe they didn't.
Yeah,
I don't know about the thermostat because it's probably been off on.
It's probably been on and off.
Yeah, who knows what they decided to put on there. I gotta find a washer myself.
Oh, I think it's one more.
Yeah. Yeah, you're sitting in the coldest corner. I need to I need to move the sheet metal shear so that we can be where it's warm. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Uh-oh, something here.
I threw you on the other screen so you could see you.
Oh, I didn't. I'm on camera.
You were on camera for a moment.
Well, it's not perfect, but it's a lot less greasy than it was.
Here's a really good one. What one?
Good one, what? No. These are it.
Okay.
And I can tell by the residue that was on there. I think struggle. Have a socket. Looking for socket. Oh. Now I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to get mad.
Okay.
Do we have any white lithium grease somewhere? You know, or some kind of just light grease, not this. I guess I could use anti-seize, but that's kind of.
Yeah, I can get you. Think.
Is this all cleaned up? Probably is.
Yeah, I even ran it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's really good. Keep your busy, so I'm going to look for it.
It might be in a spray can. Is that okay?
No. This is here's this.
That's just black.
I don't care. I just don't want. Of course, now I'm trying to one hand something. I think it's red. I just want some grease.
Oh, it is red, yeah.
Yeah, let's see where I can. I don't know if anybody's. Oh, we just watched cameras again. I don't know what's going on. I'm looking over there to see what people can see, and I can't see anything I'm doing.
We can see now.
Well, and I like this thing.
Hi, everyone that's come in.
Yeah, I know we're not paying attention to chat so much. We're not paying attention to what we're doing.
Buddy Carafano says, record cleaning bolts for a good short. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Here I am.
Do you know where any of the short extensions are?
Why you clean hardware with solvent? What do you like to use? Oh, when you clean hardware with solvent, what do you like to use? Generally, we like using the wire wheel for mechanical solvent. Otherwise, oh, what's a good wash? Sometimes a little bit of brake cleaner is adequate. Other times, gasoline. Don't tell anybody, but it is one of the cheap. If you're outside, if you're not, if you don't have the, we can't use gasoline indoors right now because we've got the thing going. But in the summertime, like if I have a big thing of this to clean, I will put them in a jar, not a metal jar, like a coffee can. I'll put this whole thing in a coffee can and pour, you know, a half a quart of gasoline on it and shake them up. extremely high solvency, and the cost per quart is cheaper than anything you can
And what do I like to use?
buy.
What is it I like to use?
But it stinks. It smells really bad. It's potent, so you don't want to do it. If your shop is in your basement, you don't want to do it. If they've got the windows open because it's a nice summer night, you don't want to do it right outside the window because
What do I like to use? Kerosene.
kerosene. Kerosene's okay. It leaves kind of a film, which is not all bad. Yeah, I'll get behind some kerosene. I used kerosene to wipe out the boars after we
Or
honed the boars.
VMP naphtha.
Naphtha?
Yeah, VMP naphtha's a great cleaner.
That could work,
It's a little
yeah.
bit expensive. But... Okay, what's going on here? I'm completely lost track of what's going on.
Trying antifreeze next? Yeah.
I think I just greased myself up with something else. That had something on it.
Oh. He just re-dirtied his hands.
Something melted.
Oh, guys. Thanks for being here. Today is frustrating. I don't actually feel like
Why
working.
are you so frustrated?
I don't actually feel like working, but I want my car done.
You want the car done. Yeah, that's why you work, It's because you want. That's why everybody works, because they want their stuff done.
Yeah.
You could switch back to the.
Robert Bertram says, chat, stop making sense. You're too high.
Oh, why is it not doing what I wanted to? There.
You weren't clicking.
I know, I wasn't clicking the right place.
Oh, when you clean hard. There you go. There was our things. Good luck treasure hunting, Max.
It's this.
Oh, Max is trying to find a throttle cable.
What was that for some 60s something car?
Yep. We are getting closer and closer, guys. Things are coming together. I now have. I didn't say anything during the. Well, that goes in. It doesn't go in the trash. That goes in the.
Oh, it goes on the floor to dry out and then become kindling.
Yes, kindling goes in the kindling. Man, this thing is filthy.
Yeah. We need to clean that off some chemicals after it's off.
When it's cold.
Yeah.
So while I was laying under the car, the speedo cable was hitting the bolt for the cross member. So I took the speedo cable back out of the transmission, took the bolt out, put it through from the other end so there wasn't interference, because otherwise it's going to wear a hole in the speedo cable. So I did that. The linkage is done for tonight. It'll work. It may need some tweaking to be really exactly how I want it, but honestly, the fact that it works is good for me. The drive shaft is torqued to spec. The exhaust is connected back up. Now it's that little bitty muffler that I want to replace.
1 5/8, something like that.
It's small. The factory tailpipe is tiny. It's very restrictive, but it'll be fine for break-in.
That's what they ran with forever.
Yeah, but the restrictive tailpipe made it quiet and made it so that you couldn't rev it out, hurt it. But you're not going to get your max performance. The short spell of warmer weather is on the way. Darn right, Lester LeSabre. We're going to try and take our best advantage. That's why I'm pushing tonight to make progress, because I want to be as far along as I can when the day comes that it's time to get it going. I don't want to wait until the last day and be doing this. I want to do this now and then just be able to relax, because we're not recording anything because we're in a big hurry now. And because it's all fussy stuff that's hard to record. So we're just just get some stuff done, make some progress, and It's moving along. I got to fill the fluids. I got to put the filter on. I got to put the distributor cap on. I got to hook up all the wiring, but all the wiring is really just the alternator, one wire, two wires to the alternator, and one wire to the ignition coil. Two wires to the ignition coil, something like that. And then I just hooked up the ground cable, the main ground cable that goes to the engine. You can put that hose onto the radiator.
What about the intake manifold?
What about it?
I thought you said you had to put a gasket on. Or did you?
No, not the intake manifold. That was exhaust. From the exhaust to the exhaust pipe. From the
Oh, I thought you meant
exhaust
from the
manifold.
exhaust manifold to the head. Oh, okay, good. What is this, Robert Bertram? I'm struggling to read that because it's at my limit of distance. Chat stopped making sense. Chat stopped making sense?
I think the chat was making too much sense, and Robert was trying to tell them to cut it out. We don't need no stinking sense.
What's this, Dean Stevens? Yeah, they're both talking about it, but I'm. And then Buddy Car Final said something. So, first time car actually in park won't roll away. I'm worried about that park position being a bit spongy. And the only thing we have to keep this car rolling is park. There's no parking brake. So you'd carry wheel chocks around with us again? Probably.
For the test, but it's park works.
I know, but it's kind of spongy up there. Dean Stevens' chat making sense too. Get it? Sayers here. I gotta lean forward to read because I'm at my limit of distance reading. Got that turbo project done yet? Do you want us on a running engine? I think it's cool. Got that turbo project.
He's asking if we got it running with the turbo yet, and we do not.
We do not.
Canadian Diesel says, great job on the transmission install. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you. Thank you. I knew we could do it. Yeah, it's going to work. I took it apart. I inspected the insides, put it back together. Boy, I hope I didn't make a mistake. There's a lot of nuts and bolts, you know? And every day that I work, I do my best work, and I hope that I don't leave. I try not to leave loose ends, but man, there's a lot. There's a lot going on. Doing a whole motor and transmission swap.
This turned into a hell of a leak fix.
Yeah. The moral of the story, don't own a car. Too much trouble. Too much trouble. Stupid car.
And this is a simple car.
Be a simple kind of car.
It's not a. Okay, I'm going to get up over there. You're not going to take that seat?
Go ahead, take
I'm
that
going to
seat.
take that seat. Because I can see better over here.
All right.
And I can still have the heat on me. Oh, how's the heat doing in here? It's come down a half degree or something. Should have checked the heater while I was over there. I don't know. We should just let that die down, I guess.
Giving it some air. It's going to be going again. Probably if I took it just a little bit, it would come right back up.
Well, the thing is, we're not gonna go forever up here. Yeah, parking brake is necessary. Don't trust parking, Paul. Yeah, you know what the problem is? The parking brake. It's going to take some work because it's got a Ford rear end, and the cables don't run the same way, and she's got to get under there and figure that one out. So, what we were doing when we drive it somewhere, we would carry a couple of wheel chocks with us, rubber wheel chocks, and just stick it under both sides of the tire. And So always two of us went somewhere, so somebody stepped on the brake and the other person pulled the wheel chocks out. That's kind of clumsy. Clumsy to say the least. We only do quality nonsense here. Lester will save her. How are you feeling, Kim?
My neck hurts. What time is it?
Well, I'm thinking we've been here for an hour and a half. Or 2.5 hours. Oh, it says ads. We'll let the ads go. I don't know. We've been here for. Oh, you're putting oil in on the filter. Okay, good. Because we've been going for what? 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and before that I cooked.
And before, and we were here for a good hour before that because you cooked dinner and we were trying to get the fire up roaring again. Oh, we still have to do at least one or two shorts. I'd like to do short. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do. Oh, shorts. It's my shorts is what keeps this thing going. Let's see, can a line lock work as a parking brake? Well, it can, but it's, then you're trusting that you won't have small seepage somewhere. And we used to do that in the tow trucks. We had a line lock, locked all four wheels. I never had a problem with it, but they're pretty solid systems. Well, ideally, you can drive off the chocks a bit, and there you go, if alone. Space Cat 72, evening, everybody. Good evening. We had Space Cat here before. I don't remember. Welcome to the chat. Maybe we have. But it used clutch pedal as a line lock. Or not? Yeah, well, we talked about that. Using the clutch pedal to lock the front wheels, and then you could just slip her foot off the clutch and take off, just like you normally would.
Well, that's not so good. You can't see it, but this is the field wire for the alternator.
That's not a wire.
Clip connector.
You can see that's not a wire. It's a connector. It broke.
Yeah, and it was all green.
So it was
not all green. It was partially.
It was
green.
about had it anyway.
Yeah, too many times got parted around. So we need to fix wire.
Sarah says, I attempted to do an educational live stream. Don't know if anybody learned anything. You did something the other day I watched. It wasn't a live stream, but it was a video. I'm trying to remember what it was. You're pretty upset about something. About I've watched a couple of those kind of videos recently. About why mechanics didn't want to be mechanics or something. I'm trying to remember what all that was. Oh, Space Cat says, I'm around a bit. I always like your shop stuff. Well, good. Thanks.
Sweet. Glad you're here.
Dean Stevenson says, Space Cat, Feline Apollo. Stop that. It's time to go home. Oh, well, home? Oh, but I am. Yeah, Dean's likely to say anything. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Nasty. ASTF. Yeah, you were pretty passionate about that. I forget what NASTIF is. Some in Canada, isn't it? Some one more government regulatory agency or something. The usual suspects, I see. Oh, you poking at the fire?
Mm-hmm.
How's it looking there?
There's a lot of fire still there.
Space Scat says, like that old Valiant dart. Yeah, this one's a dart. This one's a 66 dart. And then out in the yard, we got a 72 Valiant, which is one of the projects. It was a project. It's running, other than we took the battery out to charge it.
It needs the front suspension finished out.
Yeah, we got to finish up the front suspension on it. We're probably going to do some other projects, like stuff with the 72 Valiant. And
this one here, we had it running in the fall. We took it
would-
out and it had a bad oil leak. The motor was a little tired. Turned into a manual to automatic transmission swap. And then we built a different motor for it that was a little bit fresher. A lot fresher. Ported the head. Checked all the ring gaps. And
Oh, it says the USA organization making rules and regulations on programming, IMO and keys. And oh, yeah, that whole mess. Oh, it's about to get really bad, too, because whatever replaces OBD2 is going to be horrible. It is going to be, it's going to take all your freedom away.
all of it. Yeah.
They're gonna monitor where you go, how fast you go, what G forces you have going around corners, how fast you accelerate, how fast you decelerate, every engine code that comes up, everything.
Yep.
Everything. The government's gonna have you by the throat,
and
the only way to stay away from it is not buy any of their damned cars. Just end it.
Yep.
Do not buy that crap.
There'll be exclusive car sellers who sell cars that don't have that stuff, but you'll pay such a premium that the average person cannot do that. Most people will be buying on, most people already do buy loan lease.
They're talking about that.
And they're going to make you sign that paper that says in order to get your loan, the bank requires you to release all that stuff.
They're talking about that stuff reporting to insurance companies so they know what G-forces you have going around corners, how fast you accelerate, decelerate, so they can adjust your insurance premiums on the spot. It's just like complete control of everybody. It just angers me, obviously. And that's why we have older cars. Hopefully they don't make them illegal. Move to China, you already have more freedom. They just throw you away. Keep the old machines alive. Yep. Maybe before they have complete control over me, I'll be gone. And then my old cars will sit there. Well, just now, then they did it by, what does that smell? Like something burning.
Maybe it's something burning. Something burning.
What is it?
Wood.
Outside the thing?
Yeah.
How'd wood get outside the stove?
Well, remember when you opened the thing and that thing fell out?
Well, I pushed it in. I held it in.
Well, I opened the door again and it fell out.
It fell out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the insurance companies killed 1670s muscle. Yeah, but then they did it by just like trying to limit horsepower and stuff. Now they're going to do it by monitoring everything you do. Everything you do. Everything. Where you go, how fast you go, how fast you accelerate, how fast you decelerate, how quickly you go around a corner. Buddy Carfano, I have to go with nephew to pick up car from body shop tomorrow. I rejected twice already. Paint match. Nowhere close. Oh, jeez. Sarah says, I have an eye appointment to get glass. They figured out I'm blind.
You figured it out?
So you're the buff that Tony mentioned.
Yeah.
Any special government work on the horizon? No, I'm pretty much done with that. They want me to go back to work for them, but uh, you know what I did was flight testing on drones that were, you know, big UAVs. And I don't know if they want me to go out there and like certify a, a technician on a airplane that I know about or something. Yeah, I'd do that. But I told them limits 2 weeks. Well, they're low on people. They want me just to go out there and open ended work. Well, there's no end to it. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'm retired. I had enough.
You don't want to grow
I'm
old and
seven.
die
I'm
living in a
seven.
hotel room.
I'm 70 years old. Yeah, I don't want to get shoved around here and there from hotel room to hotel room. And you know, they're going to deploy people. And when I see the people on these projects that get deployed, they're all late 60s and early 70s. It's like, where are the young people that used to do these jobs? You know, and they can't get anybody. And the pay is extremely good. It's like, I don't understand why they can't get people that, and there's plenty of qualified people that get out of the military that were aircraft mechanics or helicopter mechanics. They're right there, perfect kind of skill set. And I don't know, they can't get them. I don't know what the problem is.
Probably getting offered more money in the private sector.
Getting more money. Yo, I mean, these are government contractors. I can't imagine making more money than what they make out there, and especially when they deploy. See, miss a payment or two, bank can just turn off car and police shut it down
Yep.
to you.
And they know where it is. And if you mess with it, they will report you to the EPA. No modifications. If you want to do donuts, you pay a monthly plan. Just like your seat, your heated seats.
Tell them what you want, $300 an hour, but they will pay it. They won't pay me $300 an hour. No, they pay me pretty good, but it's not that much. I mean, if you get deployed, you can make $500 or $600 a day, which is, you know, if you're deployed more than 330, or at least in the U.S., if you're deployed more than 330 days, you don't pay income tax on it. But yeah, it's a lot of being in a bad spot in the world. I don't know. What happened to all the young people that do this stuff? Used to be you get out of the military and you jump at a job like that. Now I don't know what happens to those people. Why do we have people deployed to war zones that are nearly 70 years old? It's like those are young people's jobs. You know, I don't know. Maybe you only do that for so many years. I worked for 55 years, and probably 40 of it was doing that kind of nonsense. My cousin did work for Wright Pat and Sandia Labs, lasers and satellites. Yeah, I worked with those people. Yeah, so he says he's up at 4:30 and it's 10. No wonder he's tired. Why do some people call a laser? I thought laser was pronounced laser. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Only in the U.S. it's pronounced with a Z, but it's not written with a Z. I made the mistake of agreeing to plug in a progressive insurance monitor to my OBD2 and supposedly potentially lower my insurance rate. Yeah, right. I think it raised my rate. Yeah. Insurance companies don't do things to lower your rate. Well, you have to have an awesome stream. Well, you to have an awesome stream and a Merry Christmas Love you both. You're awesome peoples.
Thank you, sir. You as well.
He needs to get his ugly sleep. Used to be beauty, but that went south long ago. He's getting his beauty sleep. All right, Sarah. Have a good night.
Thanks for stopping in.
You older ones are just looking after yourselves too well, but face it, you did a snow job on yourselves. Yeah, it seems like younger generation doesn't want to work. But then, like, I went to lunch with my son, my youngest son today, and he's like early 30s, and he's got a great job, and he works every day. You know, he's writes code. He's a computer geek. You know,
He does bank card transaction security or something like that.
yeah, he writes code.
Important stuff.
Writes code. So but he spent 8 years in the military. He did his time. Have I heard anything to do with foreign technologies? Well, that I can talk about. I I trained with the British on an airplane called the Zephyr, and you can look that up online. It's owned by Airbus now, Airbus Industries Zephyr, and it's a solar powered drone, I guess, UAV. It'd go up to over 70,000 feet. You could see the curvature of the Earth when you're flying that thing. So I was on that program for a while. That was pretty interesting. I mean, out there in Yuma where we were, they set a record for the longest flight of any aircraft, fixed wing or anything. You know, longest flight, and it was over a month. And because it's solar, it climbs during the daytime, and then at night it descends and charges batteries. And you just never want to go under 50,000 feet because when you're under 50,000 feet, that's where all the winds are. So you want to be above all the winds. And then, yeah, but most of the time you're at 60, high 60s, low 70,000 feet when you're flying that thing. Can you put lasers on sharks? You know,
Sharks with frickin' lasers.
what is that all about? I got a shirt I got from somewhere that said something like laser sharks or something. What the heck is that all about? I'll show you that shirt sometime, Kim.
Okay. It's from a movie, but you wouldn't understand it unless you saw, if you knew the characters, you know.
Okay, so it's a shirt that has something to do with that.
Yeah, it's from a movie called what's the name of that movie? I wanted to say it's Despicable Me, but I know that's not what it is.
Oh, foreign tech is in not ours and not theirs. Oh, I always joke around and say,
He's
well,
not allowed to talk about that.
we weren't allowed to. We weren't allowed to. Weren't supposed to be speaking to the aliens. Yuma, girlfriend was stationed there. Yeah, Yuma. Okay, it was probably at what was it? The Marine Corps Air Station, Yuma. But I was out at. There was also Yuma Proving Ground, which is run by the Army, but all the services are out there and contractors and everybody's out there. And I was at Yuma Proving Grounds and that's a huge facility where you can fly forever out there without going into civilian airspace. Dean Stevenson, the higher up you go, the greater the distance is. Sounds like the diameter of a circle is, oh, we just had a knock over there. Something is I don't know what he's writing there. Space Cat 72 says Yuma Proving Grounds. Oh, flew CH-46, CH-47. You had a pretty good friend out there flying. Was flying Blackhawks out there, doing flight testing on the Blackhawks. what we were doing is flight testing a whole bunch of different drones. Everything from we did some that were pretty small, but most of them were pretty heavy airplanes that were the bigger you know the bigger ones. The bigger ones. I did that for like I don't know. I was out there for I don't know total 12 or 13 years or so. And then I also got sent all over the place, like to Maryland, and there's an airport up in Oregon, Pendleton, Oregon, where they're very friendly toward UAV and drones. And man, I got the hiccups. I'm sorry. Where they're a very friendly airport toward UAVs and stuff, but you're flying in national airspace, so that's what I got to laugh about all these drones up there. That there's all these sightings. Somebody knows what's going on because to fly in national airspace, there's so much you got to do. If you're going to be over 400 feet, it's just a mountain of rules it, and then you're flying within the system. You're talking air traffic control, and I've been through all that where you're flying in national airspace with air traffic control, and they're providing separation. You know, you can go pretty. You're not you're not restricted to 400 feet. Let's put it that way. You're in the system. Space Cat, high tech, low tech. You have the bases covered. Very cool. You have the skills that they want. I'd keep it alive. Keep that coin rolling in. Except I'm 70.
Yeah, you
and I've got and I've got
give the man a break.
I've got Kim and I are doing YouTube and we're working on our cars, and I'm I'm really happy to be working on cars again because I worked on cars in my first half of my adult life, and then I was in the Air Force and I worked on airplanes, and then I worked on cars a little more, and then back to the airplanes, and I did that on the civilian side for many years, and then I back to the military side as a contractor. So more than half my life was aircraft and big heavy duty drones and stuff, and I just had enough. At some point, I've had enough. It's time to
The man needs
the
to be
fun.
home.
It's my early part of my life. I just couldn't wait to learn how to fly and fly airplanes, and I did so much of that. And I designed airplanes and flew them myself, and then got jobs designing airplanes, and then flight testing out in the desert, which was, man, I mean, to me, that's when I knew I made it in life. I was getting paid well, and I was flight testing. I mean, what could be better? But then, I don't know, age got to me. I want to have some time with my cars and my shop, and I was never home. I'd be home for 2 or 3 days and having to run again. Yeah, money good, but being home is better sometimes. Yep. And Kim was here toward the end of it, and I was running. I used to get in my car and I always wanted my car with me. So I didn't fly most places. I did some, but I drove a lot. And the last run to Oregon and back, I used to do those runs. I might stop and sleep on a rest stop for an hour or two, but I'd do like over 2,000 miles, just drive straight through. And I always felt good. But it got so I couldn't do that anymore. Something about the age, and man, it just you just can't do that. You need a lightweight drone home at 70,000 feet. Yeah, I can't believe I flew stuff at the only people are up there are SR 71s and U2s and us. And by the time I was doing that, the SR 71s were gone. U2s may have been around. I don't know. Air traffic control provides separation for us. So I don't know. We were where we were supposed to be. Ever meet Kelly? No. Man, I mean he died before I got into that. I mean he was, yeah, that would have been a guy to meet. You know, think about it. the age he was, he designed the P-38 Lightning, and it was World War II airplane. And he retired. He retired before the F-117, the stealth fighter. And it was Ben Rich, who worked for Kelly Johnson, that did the stealth fighter, and he's passed away now. And if you ever want to read a good book, I don't know if any of you are into reading, Ben Rich, just remember the name, Ben Rich, that worked for Kelly Johnson, wrote a book that is outstanding because he worked for Kelly Johnson. So there's a lot in the book about Kelly Johnson. And the book is all about the development of the F-117. And it was, I couldn't put it down. I read that book nonstop till I got through it. Being poor. Yeah, Ben Rich is, and he's gone.
What's the firing order on this stupid motor?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
No.
Every time I ask you, you throw a 7 in there just to screw me up.
Oh yeah, 7.
I'll ask her what the firing order is, and it'll be a 6-cylinder, and she gives me a bunch of numbers, and there'll be a 7 in there. But Kim, you're messing with me. I know there's no 7 in there. Okay, where am I supposed to look for that? On my phone? Hey, who knows the... I'll just ask chat. Who knows the firing order on slant 6? Isn't it like stamped into something?
I think it's 153.624, but maybe it's just because I'm...
153.624. Dean Stevenson says that. Dean Stevenson's right about everything, so...
All right. Thank you, Dean.
And that's
what point.
That's what you... He only gets 1 point for that?
2.
2 points for that. He must have memorized that, or he's got quick reference. Could be either. That's why he knows so much. Quick reference. Friends converted to P-38 to private use and donated to Smithsonian. God knows how deep it's buried. Always 153, then some fish Catholic show.
1, 5.
Well, what was the car? Somebody just did one. Did something. I was watching it. Somebody did a 6-cylinder, and because of the changes they made, ended up being. Oh, it was Garage 54 did something with a 6-cylinder, and ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 points off for being a smartass. Yeah. Except Dean says he screwed that up. He says two pints off for being a smartass, and then he corrected and said points. Nice. New stone. My uncle flew a Lockheed Martin fork-tailed devil as an Army Air Force flyboy back in the day. Oh, that fork-tailed devil. Yeah. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. A P-38. Yeah, it's quite an airplane, wasn't it? Buddy Carfano, 15 too young, 36 too old, 24 perfect. How was I taught? 15, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then, like, I was taught those V8 firing orders. And, of course, then they number the cylinders different, like Chevrolet and Chrysler start on the front of the crankshaft and go to the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the Fords went down one bank and then the other bank. So, of course, the firing orders were different when they were really the same. Oh, we're on the countdown for ads in 50 seconds. So I'll try to be quiet during the ads so nobody misses anything. And I think from what I understand, the chat keeps running even during the ads. So let's hope that happens. 153624 are all too young for me now. KJ Kiley says that because Ford leads with the left. Space Cat says Buddy's dad flew P-38s did a low flyby of a turkey farm, and they killed all the turkeys. They ate turkey for months. Geez, I have his survival. Oh, I never flew any. Oh, ads. Okay, maybe the ads are over. Um, Hikai97, welcome to the chat. Hey, how's it going? I also thought I had a 727 or a 904. It turns out I have a 999. Kim,
that's a 904.
Oh, Kim says that's a 904. What's the difference?
A 999 has low gear set for the first gear, but it's.
Oh, it's a 904 with a low gear set for for the first gear.
Otherwise, it's and the 999 I think all have the lockup torque converters.
Oh, and it's a lockup.
The 904s don't all have the lockup torque converters. So if you have a 999, you certainly have a lockup.
It's a lockup. It's like a 904 with a lower gear and a lockup.
Yeah, if you put the two transmissions together, you can't tell them apart. You have to go by the numbers.
And we got part of a pump up here for a 999.
Yeah.
That we thought was for a 904.
Yeah, that's what's taken apart there, and that's what's sitting right here.
Oh, so we got a 999 sitting there.
The one on.
Well, we do.
That one there is a 999,
okay.
And this one's a 904. But if you look at them, you can't tell them apart from the outside. You have to read the stampings and compare the gear set.
So what's that going into?
What?
Heikai. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Heikai 97. Says, how's it going? It's third one up from the bottom if you want to see that, Kim. Okay. Space Cats 72, 999 versus 904, like the 176 versus the 177 in Jeeps. Oh, that's something I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know Jeeps that well.
My Jeep has a goofy transmission, one of those ones with a belt. Although we don't have any trouble with it. The 2.8 V6 Chevy engine XJ Jeep gearbox. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have a fake Jeep. Looks like a Jeep, but it's a Jeep Patriot, which is a crosswise 4-cylinder. Dodge, what is that thing called? Kim, what was that car I had? Of course, I can't think anything when I want to think of it.
Well,
anyway, it's a little crosswise 2.4, I think, engine with a crosswise transmission that's a CVT transmission with some kind of transfer case and a drive shaft going to the back wheels. So it cuts the back wheels in and out as needed. It is kind of nice because if we get stuck out here on the hillside in the wet grass, every car we have just spins and the Jeep will just drive through it.
The biggest downside I don't like about the Jeep that comes up now and then is it does not even have a tow hook.
Yeah, we need to put
nothing.
We need to put a. Well, we've got I bought that. That trailer hitch for the Mazda, which is now totaled. So we got a brand new hitch. I mean, we should be able to cut and paste that thing to make it fit the Jeep. I'm sure we could figure that out. Dean Stevenson says Torque Flight 904 999 series of transmissions were used in Jeep CJ, MJ, XJ models with the 2.8 Chevy V6. Huh, okay. Because see, like Tony, like Uncle Tony, his are XJs, aren't they? But they have the 4-liter inline engine.
You know what, though? They have a bell housing on them that fits. They have a different bell housing on the Jeep versions, but it's the same transmission.
So it has the same transmission. So it's got a 999 in it.
Base essentially. No, he has the overdrive.
Oh, he's got a manual transmission.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he shifts that thing.
If he had a automatic, it would be the overdrive transmission. So it would be like what's in the Dodge Dakota. Not this Dakota, but that the newer versions of Dodge Dakota have a 4-speed instead of a 3-speed.
Hey, guy. My 999 is a 340 engine. Hey, guy, can you write something that tells me how to pronounce your name correctly, so I don't screw it up?
What do you want us to call you?
Yeah, I want to make it out phonetically somehow, so I'm.
Well, that might just be some kind of code.
Make me smarter. Well, yeah, except I'm not reading. I'm trying to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a pronunciation for that that's correct or incorrect. And I always ask people that. Space exit grill by the roofline. Studebaker like, oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. There.
Is that the same person who has been chatting with us about their
Space Cat?
Did someone do a super chat?
No, I just lit it up for the fun of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, normally I light that up. If there's super chat, I light up those lights and go, I make a big deal out of super chats.
Super chat.
But yeah, it's a 1961 Studebaker Lark. We have the whole car. It's just completely disassembled.
It doesn't all fit in the garage right now.
So, oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're shrinking. Thought you're gonna light your battery on fire. So, yeah, that's one of the cars that's in line for some work in the shop. But we have other things in line first. We have a Mercury Zephyr Z7 to pull in here that I recently bought, and it's a daily driver, except it needs a heater, so we got to put the heater in it first. So that's coming in. But other than that, it's a driver. And then Kim would like me to fix the brakes on it before I make it too much of a driver.
Maybe.
But that shouldn't be a long-term project, at least for a while. And then we have a Spitfire that has a really rotten body on it that we'd like to pull in here and rebody it, just build a scratch-built aluminum body for it. So that project's in the work, or in the queue. And then I have a 72 Valiant that's gonna have some that's a project. Tim just stopped in and said, "You're still awake?" Yeah, we're still awake.
Got stuff to do, Tim. I can't be.
Kim's been working on a car. I've been working on it a little bit. I've been sitting here chatting, trying to stay warm. Yeah, Kim, it's getting cooler in here. It's 58 now. Dean Stevenson says first gear 274, second gear 154, third gear 1-1. Okay, what was that? The 999? That must be the 999. I don't know.
Look. Tell us. Can't award points for information.
Nice new stone. P-38. There's two different P-38s. There's a really cool airplane, and there's a really cool little can opener. You know what the P-38 can opener is?
Oh, I used to sell those.
Used to sell those? Yeah, and that's what we got. We got those in the military. Of course, that was 50 years ago. And they were kind of leftover World War II things, I think.
Ours were reproduction ones.
Yeah, but ours were probably still being made then. Geez, I was in the military in the early 70s to the early 80s. I was in for 10 years, so that wasn't that long after World War II, I guess. Car for a new master cylinder and wheel cylinder. Yeah, I'm stopping in all time. Yeah, that's what that Zephyr needs. The master cylinder is a piece of crap, and yeah, just go around do a brake job, flush the system out. It'll be fine. It might also need a.
It's going through checked out.
It might also need a power booster, but
whatever
I don't know. Whatever it needs, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, master cylinder is pretty grungy looking. I mean, the brakes work. The pedal's a little lower than I like it, but it stops fine. So, but still, it's a new car to us. We should fix the master and inspect the brakes at bare minimum. Oh yeah, Tim says he used to have one on my keychain a long time ago. Basically, it says P-38, first plane to exceed Mach 1 in a dive. Yeah, I don't know. Get prop planes. I hear all these stories about prop planes going over Mach 1, and there's some real problems with that. So a lot of people believe it. You can get parts of high Mach numbers along spots on airplanes where airflow is faster. That raises hell with everything. A lot of extreme vibration from things like that. Bleeder screw never come loose on old cars. Well, it depends on where you live. Out in the desert, it's never a problem. Up north, it's always a problem. In the Northeast, everything's stuck. Everything's rusted shut. Everything's welded together with rust. In the Southwest, everything's easy. Everything comes apart easy. And here, it's like some things come apart nicely, some things have rust. Dean Stevenson, yeah, the first 2.5 was the Iron Duke, and 2.8 in XJs. Then Jeep used its new 2.5 and 4.0 Asian Warner or AX15 manual when Chrysler picked up AMC. Yeah, I don't know what all the last stuff was though. Yeah, the 2.5 Iron Duke, man, that was I love those engines, but now a lot of people hate them, but I don't know why. It's just a good old solid engine.
I think because a lot of people
they want it to be fast, and they're an old worn out engine now.
Well, the people who don't like them are the people who had them last.
The people that had them last.
Yeah. They asked the people who were getting rid of their trucks.
Do you have any ideas on what kind of shape you want to make for that Triumph? Yeah, it's kind of in my head what I want to do. I don't want to be real specific on it. It'd be like a 50s kind of have like little fins on the back of it kind of thing. I don't know.
Is it going to be a tribute car to your?
It'd be kind of a tribute car to my friend's Merlin 750. Yeah, but it'll be a little different. I kind of cleared it with their family. You mind if I copy your father's car? And it's always like, no, go ahead. So it'll be kind of a copy, kind of my rendition of it. They're good with it. So it'll be a small aluminum body sports carish looking thing. Rust, nature's Loctite. Yeah.
Oh, you better believe that.
See, Kim was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So when she came down here, she thought everything was great because it unscrews. And when I came here from Arizona, I thought everything was pretty bad, So this is not as good as Arizona, but not as bad as the Northeast.
Not as bad as Pittsburgh. Man. It's nowhere near.
So you get some things Loctited with rust here, but you get a lot of things that aren't.
I mean, mostly not. But there are some days that are just.
Kim, what do you have left here to do tonight?
I don't know. Tonight. All right, you're telling me that you want to be done.
Well, we're what? How many hours into this? We're
no idea.
We're 3 hours into it. We're three and is that right? 19. Yeah, we're 3 hours and 15 minutes into this, and I'm starting to get cold, and the fire's burning down. And Dean Stevenson, I sent Buff some Alfa Romeo versus Spitfire New Zealand conversions in my first email. Oh, okay. I'll look. I can't look at that up here, but I'll look at that when I get home. I don't always check my Buff Del Campo email all week, but on Tuesday nights, of course, I'm in there picking up pictures. Anybody who wants to be here Tuesday night, we'll have a Christmas Eve show, and we'll be looking at what year? 1973 cars, and of course, any cars and projects of your own. But just like 1973, something we kind of pick a year every Tuesday night. But like I say, we'll always look at everybody's cars, projects, shops, fingernails, whatever they want to show. Oh, what is that? Tim says, back in about 1968, I got a little Junker 59 MGA Roadster. They had plywood floors. I had a friend that had an MGA. I rode around it a little bit. I like the MGBs a whole lot better. I really like MGBs. They're fun. I think Buff will be all over it, like U.S. air superiority. Kim,
Yeah.
you done?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're about done. So it's getting cold in here. Getting colder. Appreciate everybody showing up, hanging out with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. We made a lot of progress. It doesn't look like much, but it is.
You're all invited to Tuesday night, which is Christmas Eve in the U.S., and 7 o'clock Central Time for our live in the studio live, where we show pictures of everybody's cars and everything up behind us. So that's coming up.
Yeah, thank you to our moderators. I don't know if anybody came in.
Oh, they were John.
Oh, okay.
John Wilburn was here.
Well, thank you always to our moderators. Check out my channel at Kim Fixes Things, and we will try and have some video coming out here in the near future.
I'll flash that for a second just for the fun of it. Yeah, woohoo. Thanks everybody for showing up, and yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Take care. Good night.